As long as the fire marshal is okay with it?
I'm not the fire marshal.
It'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah, we just want to lay out.
We want to wait, but if we have some people that are comfortable, there's some places here that one can sit. Yours is for sale, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Just try not to get in front of people that are in it. Good idea, yeah. Please pass the word if there's people that would like to come in and sit. There's room for 10 or 15 people.
All we need to do is somebody accidentally pull the fire alarm.
It's
Somebody
calling
accidentally
on
pull the fire alarm.
and probably just as comfortable as those chairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. The meeting is now called to order. There absolutely no talking.
Is that what you're talking about?
All phones must be put on silence. Oh, okay. Let's all get settled. Please. No talking in the hallway because we can't hear those voices.
Can you tell the people in the hallway to tone it down a little bit where we can hear?
Turn me on.
Okay, thank you.
Here you go.
Okay, I'm calling this meeting to order. It is a special call meeting, October 22nd, 2025, the Franklin Planning and Zoning. I am the chairperson. If you would like to introduce yourselves down the way.
Justin Henninger.
Derek Kepley.
I'm Robert Link. I'm the attorney for the board. I don't vote.
George Weisinger.
John Mayer.
Yes, and all these gentlemen served also on the prior Planning and Zoning Board before that we split from the county. We've had many public hearings. Many of us went through together the cell tower. I was certainly on board here with the cell tower. And we also had the solar farms hearings. So we know we dealt with some new issues that have been brought into our community. And we do try to do the best we can. We like you all, really care an awful lot about this community. So having said that, the meeting is now called to order, no talking at all. And Mr. Henninger, would you open us with a word of prayer?
Would y'all pray with me, please? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all the wonderful blessings you have bestowed upon our community. Let us not forget that. Let us come together with wisdom and patience and humility to make good decisions and to learn together and to come together as a community. Thank you for everything you give us. In your name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Do we have any other new business besides what is before us?
Chair, we get the past minutes that need to be approved that were
Yes, sir.
absent last month.
Gentlemen, did you get a chance to look at the minutes from our last meeting?
I'll make a motion that we approve them.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the last meeting's minutes. Is there a second? Second. There's a second by Mr. Weisinger. The motion was Mr. Kepley. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Motion passes unanimously. Do we need to also, another set of minutes? Did we miss?
It's
Okay.
in your blue book there.
Yes. in the-
September 16th?
Yes, thank you. Now we're going to approve, or now we need to discuss the minutes before us from the October 16th meeting. Did you gentlemen get a chance to look at it?
I forgot about it.
You can't, okay. Then just don't vote. Okay. Is there a motion on the floor to approve it?
I'll make the motion that we approve them as submitted.
Okay, second. Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? That motion passes. Let the record state without Mr. Weisinger's vote. Thank you so much. Okay, we have two public hearings this evening. The first public hearing is a text amendment, essentially that I don't think a lot of you guys are as concerned about as possibly the second one, but having said that, could you pull up the text amendment? the proposed text amendment.
Which one you doing?
I'm doing 11.15. But before we get into that, we need to exit the regular scheduled meeting and get into a public hearing.
So moved. Well, second then. Second's fine.
Okay. Mr. Kepley, motion. Second, Mr. Weisinger, any discussion? We are now exiting the regular business meeting. We are now in a public hearing. During the public hearing, please turn, no cell phones whatsoever. There's absolutely no talking amongst yourselves. During these public hearings, we have to be able to hear each other, and all board members must hear what, if there is someone that testifies, what they are saying.
Somebody's got a phone on. Yeah.
During testimony, you will, if you want to testify, you will be sworn in. You will need your name and your address, your location. Also, and keep in mind, you cannot speak to each other during this hearing, as we cannot either. And this is, we are pretty firm about this. This is Robert's, we go by Robert's rules. We try to be kind and listen to everyone and treat this like a wonderful neighborhood meeting, but at the same time, we have to be pretty firm on the rules. So, and we expect you guys to do the same. And keep in mind, as we go forward, please try, I try not to take personal, get my personal and feelings out of it, and try to look at information. Okay? If we can do that, I think that we probably will have a healthy and good discussion, and that is what we are looking for. Okay. We are now in this public hearing, and Mr. Monday, can you please speak loudly about what we are looking at in this text amendment?
Madam Chair, what we have here is the proposed text amendment. Due to the recent division of the county and the city's zoning departments, this takes our appeals from the Inspector Appeals Board and reduces the number of personnel involved, and also reestablishes the, so to speak, order and decorum from the Franklin City Commission exclusive, and goes forward. Most of it remains the same, it's just a change in personnel.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in a positive way in regards to this text amendment? Is there anyone here that would like to speak with concerns in regards to this text amendment? With concerns in regards to this text amendment? Let the record state that no one has raised a hand in order to speak in regards to this text amendment. Gentlemen, would you like to discuss these text amendments? If not, I am prepared to take a motion that we approve the proposed text amendment 1115 and 15.1, 15.2, 15.2.3, et cetera, down to the bottom of this particular text amendment.
Carter, as it stands today, we don't have a building inspector appeal or electrical inspector appeal board
Right. At the
as of
moment,
today.
yes, not until this passes.
I'll make a motion that we approve this text amendment.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by Mr. Kepley that we approve the proposed text amendment for 1115 et al. Is there a second?
Second. I'll
There's a
second.
second by Mr. Henninger. Any discussion by the board members? With no discussion by the board members, we will do a roll call. Mr. Henninger,
Yes.
Mr. Kepley,
Yes.
Thornton, yes. Weisinger,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
That amendment passes unanimously. Looking for a motion to exit the public hearing.
So we're going to stay in public hearing.
We have to go to a new one. I was told.
If you want to, but I don't think you have to.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Okay. Exit this, I was told to, yeah. Okay. Is there a second? Motion on the floor to exit the first public hearing. There is a second by Mr., I think Mr. Weisinger made the motion. Mr. Mayor seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're now out of the public hearing. We need a motion to enter the new
I'll make
public
that
hearing. Okay. Mr. Keffley has moved that we enter the public hearing. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we are now in the public hearing, and as we move forward, this public hearing is for a proposed text amendment. This particular language reads, can you all hear me?
You want me to read it, Debbie?
Are these microphones hooked up?
God, Debbie.
No, these are just for the,
Okay. I'm sure some people can't read this text. It's hard, the language, it's pretty small. Can you hear me now?
There's the microphone system in here does not. And with John, is there any way to?
Can you hear me now? Hello? Okay, I'm going to speak really loudly. Thank you. Advanced technology centers, including data centers used primary for the housing, operation, and management of computer servers, communications, networking equipment, and related technologies, and including cooling system, power supply equipment, data storage systems, and on-site power generation systems, modular energy systems, gas turbine arrays, fuel cells, and battery energy storage systems, integrated energy systems, including on-site energy generation and distribution infrastructure to support industrial operations utilizing technologies and fuel sources compliant with state regulations, which may be operated independently as self-contained power solutions or connected to the TVA or other utility grid. Did everybody hear it pretty good? Okay, thanks. Okay. Now, as we get into this, first I think we're going to talk to, is there someone here that would like to speak in a positive manner in regards to the data centers?
Madam Chairman, I'm Tim Crocker.
Okay?
I represent 10 Key Development, and we have several witnesses here tonight. And our goal will be to educate the chair, the board, and the distinguished members of the audience tonight. The first thing that I think that would be helpful is for Mr. Mundy to address the board, if I could.
For the sake that everybody can hear me, I'm going to walk around the room as I speak, if that's okay.
It's not on.
It's on. It's just barely.
As I said, I would walk around the room as I speak. Everybody hear me now? Yes. All right, over here? Yes. Very good, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Carter Mundy. I've been administrator of planning and zoning for the last 30-plus years. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been this route several times before with just a text amendment. Text amendment, I feel like, is a definition that we're here for tonight. We need to understand what a text amendment means. So I'm going to read some articles that I kept in my book for years. A text amendment zoning is a change to the text of the local zoning ordinance to modify development standards, regulations, or definitions, rather than changing the zoning of a specific piece of property or land. It can be initiated by various parties, including developers, citizens, or government bodies. Typically involves a formal process application, public hearings, as we're here tonight, and approval by the Planning Commission and the legislative body. This process affects all properties within the affected zoning district. Key aspects of a text amendment, what it changes. It changes, a text amendment can alter the specific rules within the zoning ordinance. Examples include changing the maximum building height for a district, clarifying how non-conforming uses are handled, and added to the definitions. The scope, unlike a zoning map amendment, what we normally call a rezoning, which changes the zoning classification of a single property, the text amendment changes the rules for an entire zoning district impacting all properties within. Initiation. Anyone can propose a text amendment through developers, initiators. A citizen can even ask local legislative body to submit one on their behalf. Developers that have a need that is observed, that potentially improves the community, or the Planning Commission, or the Board of Adjustments for that matter, observes a need to alter the regulation to make it easier for to understand and for the use. The process consists of submitting an application with a fee, a review by the local zoning and planning staff, public hearing is held, which we're here tonight, and it can provide testimony thereof. A recommendation from the Planning Commission can generate one, and it consists of a final approval or disapproval by the local legislative body, such as the City Commission, in this case. And the purpose of the amendment is to keep the zoning code updated to reflect the changing community needs and the goals addressed and inconsistencies and or correct outdated provisions, and engage the process with the internal comprehensive plan for the community. We've performed several text amendments over my 30-plus years. Plus years of involvement in zoning amendments and mentioned above also come with a motive as to why they were needed, of which I always explained in the public hearing. We're here tonight. During open sessions and discussions out of the amendments made during my 30-plus years, 4 special ones have come to mind. Cell tower location. We did this in the early 90s. We did this was mandated from the state that it get done. It's a form of communications and vital. I think everybody in the room got a cell phone. I've seen a lot of them tonight. They are set by state law. We do a public hearing. And it's just to inform the public where it's going in. There are no development plans associated with this. However, there are 3 pages in my book worth of requirements that they have to maintain. 2, adult entertainment. This had to come out in the mid-90s, and it was a protection device. We understood it was coming here. We put a text amendment in, blockaded it. It wound up in Horse Cave, Kentucky. Solar farm. That's another one. Local government generated it. We put it in as a protective device. Now we have a list of requirements that they have to go through, one of them being a conditional use permit. And the last one is medicinal cannabis, which is the latest one, which allocates a certain zone that each one of the 5 elements of medicinal cannabis can locate and puts requirements to each one of those zones. KRS 100-207 isolates text amendment as a change of the regulations within the zoning district, and applications for text amendments can only be submitted by the local jurisdiction or the Planning Commission. If you're a citizen, you'd like the legislative body to submit a text amendment on your behalf, please contact your legislative body. After a text amendment is done, it goes straight to the legislative body from this room to be voted on and an ordinance created. Once the ordinance is created, it becomes a part of the zone regulation book. In that zone regulation book, a set of regulations will be there to back it up, one of which will tell it to go through a development plan. These development plans right now are 39 steps that they have to go through. And there's 13 people that are involved in that 39 steps. So with that said, this is the tip of the iceberg, what we're here tonight to discuss, a text amendment. I encourage everyone to listen carefully. The development plan is a midterm solution. It carries through a prelim, through 39 steps, and a final for the Planning Commission, and then it goes to a pre-construction meeting where the partners involved, utilities, streets, roads, everything else is involved, and the civil side is improved, and from that meeting, an excavation permit is cut. So, with that said, there are a lot of controls, but if we walk away from this tonight, we don't have any control. And they're coming. Thank you.
Madam Chairman, if I could ask that Mr. Mundy be sworn, I have some questions to ask him.
Sure.
Mr. Mundy, Mr. Crocker has requested that you be sworn in.
Mr. Monday, will you please raise your
Just a
right
minute, let me make
I
sure.
don't think any of them are on.
hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Mr. Mundy, for the record, state your name and your position,
Carter Mundy, I'm the administrator of the planning and zoning for the city.
and how long have you been involved in planning and zoning, either as a board member or as the executive director?
30-plus years.
In that capacity, are you familiar generally with both our brand-new comprehensive plan that we've passed, as well as the regulations for zoning in this community?
Yes, I am.
In particular, are you familiar with section 816.2 under I-2 for permitted uses
I am.
in an I-2 zone?
I am.
And does that section authorize as permitted without needing a conditional use permit or any other input from planning and zoning? Is it permitted, is storage one of the items that is authorized?
It is.
In your opinion, does that include data storage?
Well, in my humble opinion, yes, it does.
And in addition, does that regulation provide for service companies to be located in an I-2 zone without a conditional use permit or other authorization?
Yes, it does.
Does it further authorize manufacturing to be placed in a I-2 zone without a conditional use permit, except for the items that are listed in section 3.2, where the conditional uses are listed? Is that true?
That's true.
So, in one of the conditional uses is not energy or electrical manufacturing, is it?
No, it is not.
And so, in your opinion, would you also believe that energy or electrical manufacturing is a permitted use in an I-2 zone?
I would have to believe that. True, very true.
We couldn't hear that answer back here.
True,
Thank you.
yes.
So in the comprehensive plan, on page 94, does our plan, does the comprehensive plan, well, let me ask first, was that a plan that was developed with many community meetings seeking input throughout this community?
Yes, it was.
And does it provide, under the action steps, to develop a plan to maintain and grow economic vitality of the I-65 interchange business hubs, including promoting further development and redevelopment in line with the plan, while encouraging a master plan types of industrial parks?
It does.
And does it also provide that we should, as part of our action steps, that we should ensure adequate energy infrastructure, both in type and scale, to support projected industrial growth?
We should.
And that comprehensive plan has been adopted by the city, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
So data service centers, or data storage and service centers, I'm gonna call them DSS centers for simplicity. They fall, in your opinion, under the I-2 permitted uses.
Yes.
So if what we're asking to do tonight is only clarifying what you already believe the law to be, is that true?
That's true.
Now, are there any existing data operations in Franklin now, to your knowledge?
Yes, there is.
There are data centers of some sort here in Franklin now.
Yes.
And tell the board, to the best of your knowledge, what it is they do, and have they ever come and been subject to your 39-point requirements?
Well, actually, they're very small in nature. I'm sure everybody in this room's heard of Bitcoin mining. They consume a lot of energy, and they are concealed, usually in a convex box, a shipping container. They're concealed in a shipping container, Bitcoin mining. This is a data processing center for Bitcoin. And they usually put them in a convex and run power to them. They're good for the utilities. They like the revenue they get from charging electricity. That's one example. We've got one that I'm aware of inside a factory vacant space that is good, and the second one, I believe, is going in a convex trailer. So that's where we're at.
Is it true that neither of them have
Excuse me,
applied-
excuse me. What is your question, ma'am?
Could you clarify something, please? You said something about generating.
Ma'am,
We're not
we
taking
can-
questions and answers at this point.
We can swear you in a little bit. Would you, some of you all could move up here if you cannot hear, though? I was concerned you couldn't hear. That's why I stopped Mr. Crocker. Okay, thank you.
Have either of those existing data facilities, have either of them complied with the development plan requirements that you spoke of earlier?
Well, they've complied with the zoning.
Right, but not with the development plan?
No,
And is that because they are so small, they don't have to?
that's correct.
The proposed data storage and service center would have to comply with those,
Obviously so.
and that is one reason that you recommend the text amendment. Is that true?
That's correct.
Without those 39 points, you feel as if you can't adequately regulate an industry that's coming in. Is that true?
It'd be impossible.
Now, in terms of the scheduling of this meeting, there's been some talk that people were not given the opportunity to consider public comment. Under the law, is tonight the opportunity to do that?
It is.
There's not another opportunity under the law, is there, other than before this board?
Before this board in a development plan meeting, prelim or final.
One final question I have for you. So, did the proposal for the data storage and service center have anything to do with the breakup of the city and the county zone?
No.
In fact, is it true that this proposal came up well after the dissolution of the county-city zone?
As far as I know, it did.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
No talking.
Madam Chairman, a brief opening, and then we'll get to the other remaining witnesses that are not.
That are pot for this
Yes.
text amendment?
And so what we intend to establish through the hearing tonight is that data storage and service centers are already permitted. And so this point makes it clear. The reason that the evidence will be why we want this clear is so that investors know that it is absolutely clear what they can do. Because the investors in this are different than other investors. Because these facilities involve billions of dollars. I've been here many times and talked about $1 million and felt uncomfortable because I didn't understand the numbers. And tonight, I'm here talking about $1 billion, and they are truly astronomical numbers. So, as you've just heard, there are two current
Okay.
data storage and service centers that are operating. They're not subject to the 39-point development plan regulations. The facility that's being proposed by my client will be subject to that, as Mr. Mundy has just testified. Much of what has been raised in social media with regard to this proposal concerns antiquated technology and antiquated data centers. You will hear evidence tonight from qualified experts that will give you the information about water use. They'll give you the information about the electrical use from the grid. They'll give you the information about noise. They'll give you the information about the land use and the jobs. They'll give you information about the environmental runoffs. And the new one is they will give you information that this data center will not harm the individual use of social media, cell phones, or the like. We will present evidence through experts in each field. The experts will establish that there is available water, that there is no available water or sewer for this facility. If it was using large amounts of water. What is available is domestic water and domestic sewer, which is very small amounts that will be used. The cooling system for this facility, and the evidence will be clear, will be a closed loop system, like your refrigerator, like your air conditioner, that will cool the chips that will operate this system. This system will not be cooled by your community's water, not by your city water, not by your county water. The next thing that we will address will be the electric grid. We will produce an expert that will testify that your electric grid will be in no way impacted because your electricity is not going to be used to power the data storage and service center. The evidence will be that in accordance with your comprehensive plan, energy will be produced by gas turbines, which are going to be approximately 80% more efficient than TVA energy. Emissions from the gas turbines are going to be odorless and invisible. No one is going to be able to detect anything from those emissions, and they will all be subject to the Clean Water Act and the Kentucky Clean Water Act. The interesting part of the power is this. This is located in what we call the Peden Mill substation. There is adequate power project that has been presented and not built out. After that, no major projects can be built in the south of Franklin. But that's not all. There is also no available electricity for industrial use in the east section either. There is a small amount of available electricity only in the Wilkie Park to the north of Franklin. Without the addition of this power plant, we will be unable to recruit industry for 6 to 8 years, and you will hear that evidence from the Warrenboro Electric representative tonight. The evidence regarding noise has been raised. Expert witnesses will testify that they routinely remediate noise emitted by data storage and service centers. And they remediate the noise emitted by the gas turbines. And they routinely are doing that. You will hear evidence that many hospitals and many universities are powered now by gas turbines because of their efficiency. That they are more efficient and cleaner than what the grid can provide. You will hear evidence that the adjacent I-65, the grain dryers that we all hear at night, and the CSX Railroad are much louder than what the proposed gas turbines and data storage service centers will produce. An industry expert will advise you on each of those issues, one on data centers and one on gas turbines. We also will produce, and I find this to be the most exciting thing for all of us, an economic development expert that will testify regarding the land use issues and the economic benefits of this proposal. The beauty of this industry is that the workers require technical training. They do not need a college education. The other beauty is that we have Sky CTC out here east of town that will be able to provide the technical training that will educate our high school seniors, if they choose to, or someone else that was older, to work in this facility. The jobs will pay between $80,000 and $100,000 average for someone with no college education.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
And I know that we're talking about a text amendment, but we're also discussing a particular situation. You are. What tier is this? Is it level? What level is this data center that is being proposed? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
It is going to be the type of tier that is used for the top 5 users, which are Microsoft, Meta.
Would it be like the one in
Amazon.
Gallatin, the Meta in Gallatin? I saw that. Okay, thank you. That is probably considered a tier 4, but language I've read.
This will be, I think they call it an AI
Yeah,
rated data center.
state of the art.
It is going to be cutting edge, state of the art, the newest thing. Now, these facilities are very expensive to build. So the plan is to build initially the energy manufacturing plant and to build a 250,000 square foot facility, which is about the size of the Toyo plant. And it won't be hardly as tall as that, but it will be, that's the correct number of square feet. From there, there's a plan to build 2 more 250 square foot facilities. Together, the data storage centers will employ between 120 and 150 people. They'll be situated on approximately 200 acres. And in addition, there will be approximately 35 jobs associated with, there will also be high-paying jobs associated with the energy manufacturer.
Will it be gated and security?
It will, yes. It will be
Highly secure, yeah, I thought so.
Now, this will allow for all taxing entities to have a dramatic increase in the taxable property. One data center is going to equal the tax assessments for the entire rest of Simpson County. 3 data centers is going to be 3 times that. This is going to result in tremendous generation-changing money for our schools, for our ambulance service, for our county, for our city, for our extension agent. Everyone that taxes is going to have a benefit that has never been seen before. I'm going to put on our expert on this shortly, but one thing you're going to hear that I found astounding, but because of the different taxing entities and the tremendous amount, we're going to be able to do some things that nobody dreamed we'd ever be able to do. And those would be to build new schools. Now, I have grandchildren, and right now they're scheduled to go to the same schools I went to. The high school's the same, Franklin Elementary's the same, Simpson I didn't go to, Lincoln I went to. So they're mostly the same schools that we've always had. This will change that. This will give the city and the county the opportunity to dramatically cut taxes. This will hear me out. This will give the opportunity to build a community center and a recreation and a pool in this community to serve us all.
Isn't that already in the works though?
Hold up a second.
No talking.
Y'all will have your time right after they
Yes.
get done to speak all you like.
This will give the opportunity to replace our leaking sewers. It will give us the opportunity to expand our park facilities. It will give us the opportunity to upgrade our fire protection. It will give us the opportunity to purchase municipal amenities such as sweeper trucks and other things to make our town nicer. It will give us the chance to upgrade water and sewer distribution centers. It will give us the chance to improve our water pressure in affected areas. It will give us the chance to improve our library, which is a separate taxing entity. It will give us the opportunity to fund our extension service, which is a separate taxing entity. It will give us the chance to replace our aging ambulances and to improve our ambulance services in this community. As I say, this is a generational opportunity. When I read this list, if we could do any one of these things, I would think that would really be grand for our community. We can do them all. We can do every one of these things and still cut taxes if they want to. What we would like to do at this time is we would like to call as our first witness Ford Graham. Ford,
Ford Graham, where's Ford?
he's coming now.
Thank you. Ford, I need you to be sworn in, sir.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Please state your name for the record.
Sure, my name is Ford Graham.
And Ford, tell the and the chair and the audience a little bit about yourself. What do you do for a living, and what's your background to do?
Sure, and can y'all hear me in the back, or you can't? Okay. If you can't, raise your hand and I'll talk louder. Even louder? Sure, okay. My name is Ford Graham. I live in South Carolina, and my job is I'm a site selector. My job is to help companies figure out where they're going to put their next factory or office or data center or distribution center, whatever it may be, and I help them look across the country to find locations that may work out for them.
Have you been employed by TenKey to assess the site here and the opportunities for a data service, storage and service center here?
Yes, I'm not employed by them. I've been asked to come here to talk about what data centers are and how I think they might benefit the community.
And as part of your work, have you been involved in the siting of data storage and service centers?
Yes, I have worked on about 50 data storage and services centers in 7 different states.
And have you prepared a presentation with respect to that for the board tonight?
I did, and I'll try to keep it short to not bore you all, but I do have a presentation if that's okay.
Carter, can you put our slides up? Give our slides. I'm sorry.
He asked what slides.
These slides.
And again, if you can't hear me, just raise your hand and I'll talk louder.
Carter, you have them on your computer.
Be helpful if he goes over here. Speak
I don't want to read it up for them.
It's that second one.
All right. Help me out here. Where's the camera? There it is.
Like we can kind of hear it kick off. Well, you can't hear me. They can. Second. His voice doesn't carry.
That's not my file.
Sir, may I ask you to speak from behind us directly? And Mr. Crocker, may I ask you to, go over there and ask questions from there? So I think if you speak in this direction, more people will hear, and Mr. Crocker, your voice carries quite well. Is that okay? Yes, well, but,
If you're doing the Facebook Live, this room historically has a bad habit of not projecting the sound. So if he's not mic'd up, it's a very good chance nobody on Facebook Live is going to hear it.
Does this podium move or is it plugged in?
John, do we have an extra set of mics back there that he can use that we can mic him up? Megan?
The one at Carter's desk could be used.
Okay.
okay, great. Thank you, sir, for being willing, and thank you.
And Jim, so where do you want me to
I
stand?
just want you to get kind of behind Mr. Link in the
still not-
center,
You're not going to hear it.
Oh, this is for,
You're going to hear it here, you're going to hear it on Facebook.
I see.
but I need you to still project out. That's why I wanted you in the middle of the room, so that, I hope this will be helpful. Trying.
Do you need the podium for your presentation?
No, I don't.
You need your,
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you mind putting it in presentation mode, though?
Thank you, sir.
Top right corner, a little projector. Up a little higher. To your right.
Top right, it's a little thing that looks like a projection screen with a plus on it.
Yeah. Keep going right there. You just went over. Yeah, right there. There you go.
All right, let's go. Okay.
All right, so this is what I'm going to talk about, and again, I'm not going to make it too long because I know you all want to hear all the other talks as well. I want to talk about what is a data storage and services center. I want to talk about who uses these services, why they're looking in Kentucky and Tennessee. I'm going to talk a little bit about the project highlights, the job numbers, the impact of property tax revenue on the taxing jurisdictions here, So I'm talking about water and sewer requirements, a little bit about open versus closed, and again, we have an expert who's going to talk more about that. Energy infrastructure constraints in the community, by right versus conditional use, which again, we talked about, so I won't do too much of that, and then alternatives to data centers. So if we go to the next slide. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like from the outside. It looks like essentially an industrial building, maybe a distribution center. They're typically 1 or 2 stories, and it's kind of a boxy thing. It's not really attractive, but that's sort of what it looks like. Can we go to the next slide, please? Inside, as you can see, are racks and servers. I mean, it's just full of essentially racks and servers and people to take care of those racks and servers. So essentially you remember when we were in school and younger, we had the computer that sort of sat underneath the desk, the CPU unit. I mean, that's essentially what this is. It's just lots and lots and lots of those that are continuously processing. Storage devices, racks, backup power systems, networking infrastructure. That's it. Next slide, please. So who uses data center services? So I put the iPhone in the back because we all do. All of our data, all of the videos that we see, all of the stuff we download, all the videos we take, all of the streaming services, all of those things use data center services. First responders, entertainment, watching football, downloading movies, news, banking and financial services. You know, you can do all your banking online. The defense industry uses it. There are just so many different industries that are reliant on data center services. And I'm not talking just about AI. I'm talking about just where your data is now. It is in the cloud, and that cloud exists in buildings, in data center in service buildings across the country and across the world. Next slide, please. So why are they looking in Kentucky and Tennessee? And it's a trick question because they're not just looking in Kentucky and Tennessee. So essentially, data centers, the industry has transferred from Virginia to the rest of the country and the rest of the world. And part of that is because it started in Virginia because that's where really the internet was born. That's where the defense had the connections with the government, and it sort of built over time there because of redundancy and because of speed to be able to respond to clicks on a mouse. But as technology has improved and now we're shifting to AI data centers, they don't necessarily need to be that close to Dulles, to Dulles or DC or the Virginia area. And so they're moving out into other parts of the United States. So I just want to show you this. I don't know if you can see it. The blue at the bottom, the blue at the top are non-AI data centers. So they're just the ones that are out there recording data and saving data. And the ones at the bottom, those are AI enhanced. And you can see the growth that's expected. And this is from, I can't remember what source, but, well, I can't read it. Source? It says McKinsey data. Thank you, McKinsey. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So this is the other thing I wanted to show you. And I know it's small and I apologize, but it starts basically in 2014 and it goes up to 2024. The blue at the bottom represents the growth in this industry in the United States. The growth in the industry in the United States. The pink the pink tab in the middle, that's Europe. The one on top is Asia, Asia Pacific, China. Everyone is trying to make sure that they can capture this industry. Everyone is working to do that across the world. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to pop these up here. The White House is obviously the White House and the administration is very interested in data center infrastructure and getting it moving as fast as possible so that we stay competitive. The Biden administration was also very interested in ensuring that we have the AI technology, the AI infrastructure for the future. Next slide, please. Okay, the project itself. You've heard a lot of this. I don't want to belabor the point. Roughly 200 acres. Down near exit 2, you see a little sign there that says site. I'm sorry for y'all in the back, but it's not too far away from the racetrack. So 250 to 300,000 square foot facilities, about $2.1 billion in investment per facility. And when I say that, I'm including the land, the building, and all of the data center infrastructure inside the facility. and it's 40 to 50 full-time jobs. It's not none, it's not only a few, it's 40 to 50 full-time jobs. And you heard, I've got a slide that's going to talk about the types of jobs in the next slide. The other, back up, please. So what I think is interesting about the way data centers develop and the way that they typically do and the way that this one's going to work is it's a ramp up over a 3-year period. So it's not building all 3 buildings all at the same time, hiring 40 to 50 for each building all at the same time. It's over a period of time. And that gives the community a chance to have the training they need to be able to supply those jobs. So it's not people coming from other places, it's people from Franklin and Simpson County. And of course, the site includes to-be-built on-site power. Next slide, please. So I mentioned the 40 to 50 jobs. The salary range is anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000. There are jobs that pay more than that. There are a handful of jobs that pay slightly less, $70,000 a year. And you can see, and forgive me, I know some of you can't see from the back, but there are lots of different positions that are available in a data center. Next, and I just grabbed Microsoft. We don't know who the end user is going to be, which data center company, but I gave you an example here. Next slide, please. Okay, so we did an analysis of the cost of the building, the types of upfit, the types of equipment that will be inside it, and then I compared that to what the county, school, library, ambulance, extension, and city tax rates are for that particular parcel, okay? So I'm talking about one facility, one $250,000 to $300,000 facility. That is the potential tax revenue that it will generate for each of those taxing jurisdictions. So I'm going to read it out loud in case you can't see it. So the county, it's about $2 million in year 1. The school district, it's about $11.5 million. The library, slightly less than $1 million. Ambulance, $840,000. Extension, $420,000. And the city, about $2.2 million new revenue from one of these facilities.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
To make sure we are clear, we're talking long-term about 3 facilities, so are we not?
We are.
Would that triple that $17 million number?
It will triple the $17 million once they're in the ground and on the tax rolls. Next slide, please. So again, I'm just using the one facility. One facility. I did a comparison from the budgets that I could find online. I found the 2023 to 2024 budgets for the county. So adding one building would be a 15% increase to that budget. I did the same thing for the school district. Adding $11 million would be a 28% increase in the school district's budget. The library budget would go up by 75%, and the city budget is for last year that I found, it would go up 21%. Again, that was based on the budgets from 2 years ago. Again, one building, year 1. Next slide, please.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
Would that also impact the extension service budget and the ambulance budget as well?
Yeah, I just couldn't find, I'm sorry, I couldn't find those, so I didn't want to show a comparison where but that's absolutely true. Okay, so there are 2 types of systems, and we talked a little bit about it earlier, but we're going to talk a lot more about it with one of the other experts.
Are these systems for cooling?
Yes, sir. There are systems for cooling. Thank you. The open system, that's the one that you read about. It's one of the older systems where it's taking water from, it intakes water from a water source. And that water source can be city water, it can be wells, it can be rivers, lots of different things. And what happens is they bring it in, they send it around the system inside a couple of times, and then they send out maybe 75% of that water. So what's happening is it's evaporating. A lot of that water is evaporating. They're not using chemicals in it, but it's evaporation.
Is it contaminated water?
No, it's basically more concentrated version of what came in. So if it came in from city wells, or if it came in from the city and it had X number of chemicals, and it was 100 gallons, it goes out 75 gallons, but it has that same amount of material. No, I'm talking about open system. I'm talking about the open system. So, and I just want to explain it so y'all understand. So It's sort of a bell curve as well. So when it's really, really hot, it uses more water. So July and August. And of course, in the winter times, it doesn't use as much because it's not as hot. So it cycles through the system. I mean, it's non-contact again, it's evaporating. And then what happens is when that system turns the water out, it goes into the regular sewer system. That's not the system we're using here. We're using what's called a closed system. And really, you want to hear it from the expert who's coming after me. But it's a newer approach, basically injects chilled air into the specific areas. The system is filled during construction. It's filled during construction, and then it's on its own. Like we mentioned before, it's an internal system. So there's nothing coming out of the system into the sewer. There's nothing coming out of the system into a waterway. It's internal. There will be requirements for water for sinks and toilets, but that's normal sinks and toilets. And it won't be connected to this system. Again, there'll be somebody else who can answer more about the open and closed systems. Next slide, please. Oh, it didn't work. Man. Well, we've got somebody talking about infrastructure, so it's okay. But what this slide was supposed to show, it's got the map of the city, and it shows where the industrial sectors are, right? It's at the very top, and it's called, if I remember correctly, Wilkie Industrial Park? Yes. There's one out at Exit 6, and there's obviously what we're talking about here is Exit 2. And my conversations were with the Warren Rec, but I think there's a representative here from that. But they're basically echoing what was you heard earlier, is there's really not much power available down at Exit 2 for really any type of new development, right?
Is this the map that you would have on there that was from our comprehensive plan?
It is, and I apologize. Yeah, it is. That is the map that I have up there.
I'm going to hold it up so at least the board can see it.
Okay. So down at Exit 2, you heard earlier, and you're going to hear it reiterated again, there's not much power left there. Not much power at all. At Exit 6, Industrial Park, there is some power available for industrial growth, but again, it's limited because of infrastructure. And up at the top where Wilkie is, again, there is some power left, but it's very, very limited because of a lack of infrastructure. And the problem at the moment across the country, not just related to data centers, but to industrial growth in general, is that it is taking so long to get new transformers. It is taking so long to get substations. We're talking 4 to 5 years to get one in place. And so this is going to be a potential constraint for the community to get more industrial users here. And that's one of the reasons why they would like to use the turbines on the site. And I wanted to show you, it's supposed to pop up like an afterthought, but
May I ask a question?
yeah, sure.
And help me out here, but I saw where the state is going to put 64 million into Barron County, where Governor Beshear is. Is it to build transformers for these?
I'm not familiar with that either.
It's new.
Okay.
But I just wonder. I did see that in the news.
So I guess my point is here with the TVA slide is that, I mean, even TVA that's working across 7 different states is looking for answers on how to address the need across the country for more power. And so they're seeking proposals from the private sector, from other sectors, for projects that are anywhere from 50 megawatts to 1,000 megawatts. And again, that's just to provide power anywhere, and not necessarily with the data services center industry, just in general. Next slide, please. And again, I don't want to belabor the point. You've heard it, but you all have got a great comprehensive plan. To be honest, I did not study it hours and hours. It's about 105 pages long, but I know you've worked on it over a 3-year period, and you've had a lot of community input. And based on this map here, where you want your industrial sites to go is at the top, out by Wilkie, at the top at Wilkie, Exit 6, and then Exit 2. And we're working on trying to get the facility there at the Exit 2 site, which is already zoned industrial I-2. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's say you don't want a data center to be there. These are some options, but I do want to share these with you. So let's say, all right, we really want an automotive plant because it could have 8,000 jobs. Which is true. That's what most automotive plants are. It would be an investment of about $1 billion, which is about half the size of one of these facilities. auto plants have an issue with air emissions and that they have paint shops and other production that require permits from the state. I mean, those are doable, but there are emissions. Supplier component deliveries, right? They're putting together all of these different 267 components to an automotive, I think it is. That means you've got truck traffic coming in, delivering this on a regular basis, and typically the finished product goes out by rail. There are 3,144 counties and parishes across the country. There are 55 automotive plants, right? That's like 1.75%. It could be a solar farm. You can get about $40 million of solar farm on a 200-acre parcel. There's no noise, no traffic, and of course there's no burden on schools or roads or other public surfaces because it just sits out there. But it generates 1/50 the potential property tax revenue as something like a data services and storage center. Next slide, please. And the last slide I'll leave you with, and it sort of speaks for itself, and again, I apologize that not everybody can see, but it's showing alternatives to a data storage and services center and sort of how they impact traffic, how they impact job growth, power usage, water usage, view shed, noise, property tax revenue, and then finally, community resource use. Again, you've got this mega driver of property taxes on a very small parcel of property, and you are creating high-paying jobs, but you're not overwhelming the school or building tons and tons of housing because it's only 120 to 150 jobs. That's really the end of my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Would you expect the data center to ask for incentives from the community, like an auto plant or other uses, or are they typically not requesting incentives?
They've sort of realized that incentives are hard to come by, and they would rather put the facility there and move forward because there's always a fight about the incentives. It obviously also depends on the actual data center end user as well.
Is that your last slide?
Yeah, that's my last slide.
So I have a question about, so if a conditional use permit was required to locate a data center or a data facility, would that impact investors in terms of their ability to, or their desire to invest in a project?
Yeah, if it's conditional use, I mean, again, it has to go through a process. We understand that. Data centers understand that. But if it's conditional use on planning, they will not come.
And
It's too much of an investment. It's too much of an investment for
in
them.
Simpson County, our conditional uses expire when there's a change in ownership. Are there typically changes in ownership with respect to a data storage and service center?
I don't know. I've never been a part of one that's changed hands.
And would that, if that were true, though, would that also impact investors' ability or desire to invest?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, the computers that are in these facilities, are they regularly replaced?
They are. They're replaced about every 4 to 5 years.
And when they're replaced, then you get all your taxable income back?
Yeah, so what he's talking about is depreciation, and essentially data center equipment depreciates about 4 to 6 years. So it has a lifespan, just like a computer at your house, you know, it gets slow after a couple of years, and that's the same thing with data centers. So again, I'm just talking about the equipment, I'm not talking about the building, but the equipment will depreciate slowly over a 4-year period, and then it will be refreshed. So it's a brand new investment into that equipment, and the old equipment is removed.
So just one last thing. So assuming that the three 250 square foot facilities are built, based on your numbers, there would be tax income in this community that would be received of approximately $52 million.
$52 million.
Annually. Is that correct?
$52 million. There's a little bit of depreciation. Remember, I was mentioning equipment, so a little bit of depreciation, but then it goes up after 4 years back to its original amount.
Thank you.
Did your slide show that,
The
the $52 million?
It's 17 for
Yeah,
one
I just
facility.
did on one
For
facility.
okay. So
Yes,
you're-
sir.
So
that's across the three.
52 for three.
Will you
Thank you.
explain that now?
I know that some of you guys would like to ask questions, but how it works.
This operates different from a court of law. You have the right to speak. Some of you, we can't have everybody speaking tonight, later, but we do not have cross-examination of the witnesses.
But you will.
So at the end of our meeting, you can,
People have time restraints, can we put time restraints on them? We've been here 1 hour.
honey, if you're gonna carry on like that, we might as well go on. I'm telling you how it works.
Well, at-
You can speak
Okay.
when we are through with their presentation,
we're,
and we will make you leave if you act like a
Okay,
fool.
okay.
Okay?
what we will, you guys, I think what we're going to do is we are going to call this in just a little bit, about 8:10. So we'll give this about 30 more minutes, and then you all will have 2 hours as well. So we are going to do the best we can to make it even. Is that fair?
Yes, thank
I'm trying, we're trying. Thank you. Okay. And in just a moment, as soon as they finish, we're going to take 2 minutes to stretch up. Some of these sitters down here I know would love to stand up, and then we will get right back to it, and we will hear as many of you all as we
Okay.
can.
Any, they have to swear people in, they're gonna talk.
The only concern that I have is there's several people outside that
Yes.
can speak, that are not going to get the opportunity to speak, so we have to change the venue.
Everybody cannot speak, obviously. We'd be here till
Okay.
February.
Well, let's, okay. Okay, you guys, I have an idea that we will try to do is after you have spoken, if some of you all would be good enough to go out and tag someone to let them come in, we'll try to work it that way. Was that doable? We'll do what we can. Okay? Okay, let's get moving. Thank you.
Well, I do want to speak, so I'm just saying that, because I do have a paper, so when the time's ready, I will
Yes,
speak.
yes, we will get a line. Do-
Yeah, and you'll have to be sworn in to be able to speak and
Yes,
speak at the podium.
okay.
Thank you.
Drink coffee.
Okay, Mr. Coffee. Let's get it going.
Chad, we're going to try to be very quick here.
Yes. They've got until 8:10, and then we're done on this side of the bench, so.
Now, will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Trent, do you work for the city of Franklin?
I do.
And what's your position?
I'm the Public Works Director.
In that position, do you decide who gets water and sewer based on its availability?
Yes.
Is there water that is available in any form for cooling a data storage and service center?
I can't talk about the water because that's county water.
Okay, so you don't have any water in this area at all?
I do not.
And is there sewer available to serve a data storage and service
The
center?
stipulations, they've got to get to my sewer line.
And they would have to get to it in a different place than where it is there on 31W, is that true?
Correct. It's where this was located on Steel Road. My sewer's on the McDonald's and Cracker Barrel
And
side.
if somebody were to pollute the sewer with runoff of any kind, you can set up pre-treatment requirements where you're monitoring that, can't you?
Yes, sir.
And if they don't meet those requirements, you can fine them, can't you?
Find them, yes.
And if the fines don't get their attention, you can disconnect them, can't you?
It can get that way.
No more questions.
Thank you. Everybody hear that? Can everybody hear okay? I know we're pushing, but.
Andrew, we're gonna try to be quick here. Tell the,
Sorry, yes,
He needs to be sworn.
Sorry, will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Andrew, tell the board your name
Andrew Lindsay.
and tell them what you do.
I'm the Vice President of Engineering and Field Services at Warren RECC.
Is there currently any power for you to sell to a data storage and service center through the Peden Mill substation that would serve Steel Road?
Yeah, so just to take a brief moment, just to clear up some things. So our system is set up to serve the needs of the community as it currently sits. So, this talk of where we don't have enough power to serve, we go through adequate planning horizons to make sure we have the facilities to serve planned load growth. In this particular site, this is outside of the norm of our planned load growth. And so that being said, this would be above and beyond what our planning horizons show for our NEDA facilities, if that makes sense.
So you have no electricity currently to sell, is that true?
Without some system upgrades that requires time and money.
And would those system upgrades take 6 to 8 years?
Yes, yeah,
And so today, you don't have anything to sell.
correct.
And so could anybody in this room expect that if they execute their plan, they open a data storage and service center, that it would in any way impact their electric bill?
So my understanding of what they're proposing to put in has on-site generation to serve the data center, so there's not going to be an impact to our system.
No further questions.
Thank you.
Paul Browning.
Sir.
Mr. Browning, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Paul, tell the board your full name
My name is Paul Browning.
and tell them what you do.
I work in the power generation industry. I've had about a 35-year career working for the largest gas turbine manufacturers in the world, including General Electric, Mitsubishi Power, and Solar Turbines.
And in that capacity, have you become aware of the project, the proposed project here in Simpson County?
Yes, sir.
And tell the, and have you, in the capacity that you have served, have you seen communities develop gas turbines and data storage service centers?
Yes, sir.
And tell the board what you see at the beginning of a project, what you see at the end, and what you see in the middle.
So what I've seen many times at this stage in a process is a process just like this, with a lot of very understandable concern from the community. The way it generally turns out, by the time the project is in execution, some of the community's fears have not materialized, and we generally have a very receptive community at the ribbon cutting when the project actually goes into operation and people see what its actual noise levels are, its actual impact on the community, and they also see some of the tax roll impacts like the previous speaker discussed.
Would having a gas turbine center like that which is contemplated, would that allow the data storage and service center, the DSS, to meet its own energy needs, separate and apart from the electrical grid by TVA or Illinois?
Yeah, so this power plant will not be connected to the local grid. It would be what we call behind the meter, so it's just connected to the data center, and it'll provide power for the data center only, and then at some point in the future, probably 5 to 7 years from now, TVA will put the resources in place to connect this data service center to the local grid, and then at that point, this power plant would be connected into the TVA grid and would provide power to the TVA grid, so that it's basically, in the beginning, powering only this data service center, and then after some period of time, would provide the power to TVA, which TVA could then use for the community or this data center.
And could it also be used for other industry in the area?
Yeah, so in the beginning, anything that's in this industrial zone could also be powered by this data center. And then eventually, when it's connected into the TVA grid, that power would be available for anybody connected to the grid.
Which would give a city like Franklin more opportunities for growth, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this power plant is about
It produces about the same amount of power that the city of Bowling Green uses today.
And what is that amount?
Right now, the range is between 100 and 300 megawatts, and the midpoint of that range is about what the city of Bowling Green uses.
And is that for one facility or all three that were mentioned earlier?
That's for the first facility.
So it would be 3 times that
The energy-
eventually?
There's only one energy manufacturing plant. There are 3 data storage and services.
So which is he speaking to?
He's speaking only as to the energy manufacturing.
So somewhere between 100 and 300 would then power the DSSCs, or you're saying?
Sorry, it's my understanding, sorry to correct you, but it's my understanding that we need this 100 to 300 megawatts for the first facility, and then we would need the same amount of power for each subsequent facility.
Thank you.
Yeah, 3.
So have you been, you mentioned earlier these facilities, have you been when they first opened, have you been present?
Yes, I have.
And tell the board about that process and what has happened when you've been there for those grand openings.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, it's generally a very positive experience for the community. And, you know, one of the things I've observed several times is, you know, at the ribbon cutting ceremony on the facility, someone will say to me, well, when do they plan to turn this power plant on? And I say, it's running right now. You know, so that the noise level from the power plant, if you're, you know, if you're on site and at a certain distance from the power plant, it's really not even, it's something you have to be told that it's running right now.
Oh, the closest house to this facility is approximately 2,500 feet. If proper remediation measures are used, tell the board how or if the noise would impact that resident or any other residents that are further away.
Right, so this facility is right next to the I-65 freeway, which the freeway has about 70 to 75 decibels of noise level. This facility is going to generate actually less than that. And so anybody who's, like this person that's about a half mile away, what they're hearing today from the freeway is what they're going to hear after this data center's in operation. It's not going to increase the noise burden on that home.
Now, there's been some discussion about this being a sound like a jet engine. Explain that.
So if you're standing 100 meters from a jet engine when it takes off, it's about 130 decibels, which is deafening. Yeah. This power plant, if you're standing the same distance away, is about 55 decibels. And the decibel system is a logarithmic system, so you know, it's not linear. Things, you know, it get much louder. So that 75 decibel difference is about 180 times. So it's 180 times less loud than a jet engine that's taking off. And also, because of the way the sound is attenuated, it's a lower frequency sound, and so it's not like a whiny, you know, like super irritating sound. It's something that's a little bit more of like a background type sound.
Please speak to the emissions from the gas turbines that would be here. First, I'd like to ask, are they going to be visible?
So the emissions are invisible from this type of power plant, and they're also odorless.
Okay. And so will anybody ever be able to detect them?
No, so it's really interesting. The same kinds of emissions come out of the vehicles that are on I-65. They're released at the ground level, and so they're more impactful to humans. In a power plant, there's a stack that's 50 to 80 feet high where the emissions come out, and so by the time they get to the fence line of the power plant, they've really sort of dispersed. And so the impact on people on the ground is actually quite a bit less than the emissions from the freeway, just because they're emitted, you know, higher up and have a time to disperse before they reach somebody on the ground.
Tell the board about the efficiency or the cleanliness of the gas turbine technology as compared to the other energy that is being generated by TVA that we use to power our lights in this room.
Yeah, so this power plant, it's called a combined heat and power plant. And what that means is, in addition to producing electricity, there's a lot of heat that comes out of the gas turbine. That heat is generally released in the environment, but in this case, that heat is captured and it's used to actually refrigerate or chill the data center, because the data center requires a lot of cooling. So because of that, the fuel efficiency is actually very high, and it's on the order of 80 to 84%. And if you compare that to the Kentucky power grid, the carbon emissions on a per unit of energy basis are less than half than the existing Kentucky power grid, and also quite a bit less than what TVA currently, the carbon emissions from TVA's power.
Will such a facility have to comply with the Clean Air Act?
Yes, sir.
Now, if we're talking, do you have experience with investors on such a property?
Yes, sir.
And would requiring a conditional use permit, would that restrict investors from investing in a multi-billion-dollar project?
Yeah, the problem with a power project and conditional use is typically you have a project developer who develops it. It then gets sold to somebody with lower cost money who's the longer-term owner of it, and then it typically gets resold again as it starts to age. And so each time you resell, if it has a conditional use permit, there's no assurance that the original investor is going to be able to sell. And so it just makes it really unfinanceable.
No further questions?
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Thank you. Thank you.
John Henning.
John Henning. Henning?
Yep.
Okay, is that H-E-N-N-I-N-G?
H-E-N-N-I-N-G, yes.
Please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please state your name.
My name is John Henning.
And John, are you a professional engineer?
Yes, I am.
And do you work in the field of data storage and service centers?
Yes, I'm a civil engineer that works in the data storage and service center industry.
Do you work in both the design and the construction phases?
Yes.
And in that capacity, have you been able to see the benefits and the detriments of a data center?
Yes, I've seen construction and the operation of those facilities.
And do you have one in your hometown?
I do. I live about 6 miles from it.
Okay, and tell the board what they could expect from a data center, storage and service center.
Sure. From a construction perspective, it's traditional earth moving initially, and then it's really the building of the envelope from the outside. So it's your traditional construction that you would see from a manufacturing facility. It's very similar.
So how would you compare a facility like that is full of just operating computers versus a facility that's got people working, trucks coming and going, that sort of a facility?
So as you would look at a data center facility from a construction perspective, like I said, it's very similar to the manufacturing from equipment coming in. But then from an operational side, you don't really have that truck traffic that you would typically see from a manufacturing facility.
And what benefits has your community received as a result of having a data center?
Sure. So the town that's about 6 miles away from where I live in Nebraska is a rural community, about 1,500 people. They saw a development of multiple data centers come into their community. And because of the burden not placed on the school district, so you do have about 50 employees that come in, but typically they're not coming in from outside. They live within the community because they are jobs that can be serviced within the community. You don't see the influx of students coming into the school district. So Springfield actually saw significant tax revenue come into the school district, where they were able to build a new administration building, build a new elementary school, and build a new high school with that tax revenue from the data storage and service centers that came into their community.
Have you been asked in the design of this facility to use the cutting edge technology that is available?
Yes.
tell the board about the cooling components and what is being contemplated and for this. Are you okay for
Sure.
design for this space?
Yeah, so our design within the data center space, a lot of the, and I'll keep talking, I can, yeah.
Keep talking.
So,
Somebody lean
the
on
light
the
here is nice. Our design has evolved over time within the data centers, or the data storage and service center space. Initially, as Ford was talking about earlier, there was water that was utilized. What our clients have seen is that the communities where they're building, Phoenix is a perfect example. They have no water. They cannot build these centers in Phoenix and utilize water because there's none available. So they've converted to cutting-edge technology that does not utilize water.
Is that what you would use in the proposed Simpson County facility?
In that facility, there would be an initial influx of water, it would be closed loop, but there would be no water flowing in or flowing out of that closed loop from a cooling perspective.
No water coming in and no water going out into the sewer except for toilets and domestic water.
That's correct.
So is the closed loop system, is it something that will serve this type of facility well?
Yes.
What types of users do you expect would ultimately be housed in this location?
As we look at the AI, we would probably look at the larger hyperscalers that are coming in, so the Metas, Microsofts, AWS potential in this facility.
With respect to the data center itself, are there any noise problems that cannot be remediated?
No, we've built data centers within communities where there are commercial or residential in close proximity, where the sound cannot increase beyond the property line. So there are acoustic surveys that are done prior to construction, prior to design, to see what the sound is at the property line, and there are local regulations and stipulations that say you may not increase that sound. So there are mitigation measures that can be taken.
The one complaint that we have heard is with regard to the diesel generators that are periodically tested and come on, the backup generators.
Yes.
Will this facility have any diesel generators?
At this point, because we have the natural gas generation on-site and the on-site, there will be redundancy, so it is anticipated that those diesel generators will not be necessary.
Is there adequate gas on site for this operation?
Yes, this site has 3 different gas interconnects possible that we're considering at this time.
In addition, is there a adequate fiber optic line that serves this area?
That is not my specialty, but I do understand from talking with others within my company that, yes, there is an adequate backbone from a fiber optic perspective.
And would anybody expect that the use of the facility, the use of this facility would in any way impact other citizens of this community's access to the internet?
No, quite the contrary. If you're going to develop a data center or a data storage and service center, you want accelerated fiber optic connectivity. So even if it was inadequate, if it would slow it down, there would be investment to improve that backbone to make it faster, both for the facility and the surrounding community.
In your community, have you experienced any downsides to having the data center there in your community?
We have seen none. There's been significant construction investment and significant growth. There's actually a community college that is building right across the street to service the data centers and help with the employees and training to service those data centers.
I don't have any further questions.
Tim,
Thank
the
you.
chairman needs a minute.
Okay, you got about 5 more minutes, okay? Okay, thank you. If you want to go ahead and call someone and get them sworn in, thank you.
David?
Excuse me. Thank you all for being so kind and quiet. We really appreciate it. I know it's not fun. Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me. Here's some room up front if you want to come stand up there.
STE.
If some of you guys want to get over there in the corner, there is some room. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, thank you. Hey, there is a little room up front in the corner if some people want to use it. Excuse me. I'm just trying to go to the ladies' room. Where is it? Oh, everybody can hear it. Hey, there is a little room. We're waiting for some people.
No problem. I can say that. There's a, it's fine, it's fine.
Good call, Kelly. She didn't take her mic. She did take her mic off. Yeah.
Too late now. You know what happened.
We got a little more, but we'll finish up.
We'll get through it.
What? I don't, yeah. I think we covered everything.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, Stephen, please tell the board your name.
Yeah, Stephen Vandekieft.
And are you a professional engineer?
I am a professional engineer.
Tell them what your experience is.
Everybody, please bring the noise down where we can hear what he has to say.
Yeah, I've been an engineer for about 27 years. More than half of that's been planning and design of data centers,
And have you designed any large ones?
very large data centers.
And tell the board about that.
For the last 15, 20 years, or 15, 12 years, I've been designing data centers for probably 3 of the top 5 hyperscale data center companies in the world. I've designed data centers not only in the U.S. coast to coast, but also overseas in Europe and Asia and South America.
You heard John testify, and is it accurate that you've been asked to design a cutting-edge cooling system that uses, is it accurate that you've been asked to use a cutting-edge cooling system that uses a waterless closed-loop system?
Correct.
And is that workable on this particular project?
Definitely.
Is there off-the-shelf kits that can be purchased to do this in the industry?
Yes.
If that is done, is it accurate that the only water and sewer that would be used in this facility is domestic water for toilets and sinks?
Correct.
Now, is it accurate that all of the sound issues related to a data storage and service center can be remediated?
Yes.
Would one expect that this proposed data center will fully provide electricity that it manufactures itself? Is that true?
Correct.
As a result of that, is it also true that nobody's electric bill is going up as a result of this?
That's correct.
Okay. Do we expect that this would in any way impact the connectivity of the citizens of our community in a negative way?
Connectivity, meaning the internet?
Yes.
No.
No further questions.
All right, thank you.
Will it in any way speed up people's data server at home? Will it speed up data?
Depending on how the data centers are used, it could.
That's a question, thank you. Okay, you all set?
I have used the time you have allotted.
You have used it, all right. Does everybody want to stand up and stretch for a minute, or you want to muscle on?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's come back at 8:00, let's come back in about 4 minutes. If anybody needs to go to the girls' room, we're going to get started. Mine was out. Did you hear me go? Did you? I turned it off. I said, everybody knows where I'm going. I did turn it off when I flushed the toilet. Oh, definitely. Okay. Okay. We are going to I'm going to get a line up here. Thank you. Okay, gang. Do you know if this group is organized, if they have speakers, or? I know, okay. I will, you can speak first. You ask. Just that everybody.
They're probably going to spin that drop and go. That's why they don't want to use the conditional use permit. Right, exactly. And that means they can go anywhere they want to without it being a conditional use and do whatever they want to do.
I have a mic. I have to say I don't have a mic. Not that.
Yes.
Gary Swagger called me today, and he said he saw him trying to get the project built, and they were at BP Stadium, somewhere, BP somewhere in there, and he got loud, and got big saying his F word and everything else, and complaining because Carter wouldn't give him a permit for some reason or another. I mean, he said he's discussing, he said, I don't know, whatsoever. He throws around the F word, he didn't see her, I don't think he'll say, he used the profanity. He can't help it. The boy acts like he's been on drugs. And his brain's run out. That's a shame.
And then they went to preach no phones, and they were sitting up there on their phones. I got videos.
I can't talk about it, but I'll try. It's procedural or policy.
Good job of her cats.
I think that's just, they've got down to 2:15. Let's get moving. We're going to start moving.
There is none in here. Oh, they've got parts ordered, they're just waiting for the guy to come in.
Slow boat from China.
They've got them, it's just a resource issue.
You be sure to record mine for me, sir.
Some people don't have a voice, you know.
They're trying to get a date next week.
Record yours, record mine too.
Brother Matt does it sometimes when he gets wrong, he just obviously doesn't want to look like, I want a headset to help too.
A what?
Why don't you want to wear a headset?
Oh, I just think it's personal preference. Personal preference, I think. True.
Let's go, man.
Hey, gang, okay, thank you all. You all have gotten in a line, and I'm so glad you're behind Mr. Bush because you were so helpful to us over on that side, and thank you. We're glad, we appreciate it. If you all want to speak, right now we do have a line that ends, are you in the line to speak? Okay.
Marty's at the end.
I believe Mr. Chandler is the last at this time in the line. So after we finish this line up, we'll start another one. Or so that we kind of go through this. And Mr. Bush just asked me if I was putting a time limit on any of you speakers, and my answer was, I can't do that because I didn't put a time limit on Mr. Crocker's speakers. But what I can do is, we've got 2 hours, 10:15. Is that fair? Yeah. Okay. Mr. Bush, I need you to get sworn in.
All right, Mr. Bush, can I get your full name?
Kelly Bush.
Video online.
Yes, ma'am. U.S.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. My name is Kelly Bush. I am a city commissioner.
Well, that's not on.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a city commissioner for the city of Franklin. For the past 25 years, I've been in IT. I've been in information technology. So I do have some experience in this. I was the first person to do what I did for Apple. I wrote a presentation for Microsoft. I've been to many data centers. I was actually part of the team that moved the data center from Gardena, California to Lexington, Kentucky for Nissan. We also moved their facility to the new facility in Franklin, Tennessee. We airlifted that on a C-130 from LAX to Lexington Airport. So I kind of do have some kind of grasp. I know, John, you do too. We're probably, I don't know if Adam Wiles or a couple other guys are in here, but there's a few of us that have actually been in data centers. So the data center, so I'm going to go through the presentation. So in the second slide, that's a canned photo of a data center, actual data center, a data center that I would actually work in. And by the way, I'm not the guy that goes to the data centers. Okay, so the money they're talking about, the $80,000 to $100,000, the majority of the people that are going to work in these data centers are going to be smart hands, or they're going to be security. You're not sending me to a data center. I make too much money. I'm sorry. I'm not bragging. That's just the truth. Okay? So in the second slide, this is an actual picture of a data center with servers and racks and everything there. It's got fiber. It's got Cat 5 connections, Cat 6, whatever. These are not the facility they're talking about. They're talking about AI facilities. And the reason they're doing this is, from my perspective, again, is that they're investors. I don't blame you. I get it. You're trying to make a dollar. Everybody's trying to make a dollar. But how many times in Franklin have we heard industries coming in, they say they're going to do one thing, and then they do something different? How many? So the third and the fourth slide, I believe, were why are we looking at Kentucky and Tennessee? The reason they're looking at Kentucky and Tennessee is because they get tax advantages. I could care less which White House said the tax advantages are great. Whatever. I don't care if it was Biden. I don't care if it was Trump. There's nothing about this that makes sense for the city of Franklin or the residents of Simpson County. So we get to the part to where we talk about the project highlights. I think that's slide number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Project highlights, 200-acre industrial zone property that's already in zoned I-2. Unfortunately, we can't be provided the information on how this got zoned I-2. So we can't find the records, is my understanding.
I think it was in 2010.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. but
Before
then-
any of us
Right,
were.
before any of us, nobody's fault, yada, 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 whatever, just like all the problems we got in Franklin, none of our faults. I'm not blaming y'all, I'm not. But we've always got issues, right? We've always got issues, we've always got something to fix, there's always something going on, but we cannot provide proof that this was actually zoned an industrial property back in 1905 or whenever it was.
2010.
All right, so it's going to be a 200-acre facility. It's going to be a 200-acre facility on this, what is it, 3,500-acre tract of land. I think you got an option for another 500 or 1,000. Okay, whatever. So on that farm is a big cave. It's a big hole in the ground. There's also a cemetery. You've not addressed those issues yet, so I find it hard to believe that we're going to build a 200, 300,000 square foot facility and we're not going to have some kind of environmental impact. It doesn't make sense. So, we get to the, and so they're going to ramp it up over 3 to 5 years. It's going to be on-site power. Look, that's great. That's going to be on-site power. That's great that you're going to have a big smokestack blowing whatever that's above us. That's great. Okay? Again, not something I'm looking forward to. Again, we'll go to the next slide talking about job numbers and types of trainings. $80,000 to $100,000 again. I'm not that guy. I'm not walking into a data center. John, he's not walking into a data center. The only data centers we walk into are the data centers that are on site. We do not walk into these data centers. Okay? When I did the work for IBM, we were at co-location facilities, IBM Boulder, IBM Lexington. I've been there. I've done this. Even those facilities are loud. I understand there's new technology. We're talking about zero water. Has anybody ever boiled a pot of water and left it? What happens to it?
Stain.
Come back and it's not there, is it? It's magic. Somehow we're going to produce magic water. Impact of property taxes and revenues. So that's great. We're going to get a lot of money for this. Do you really want us spending your money like we spent it for the past 10 years? I don't think so. So we're also talking about the property tax. The property tax, they're basing it probably on the assumption that it's going to be 100% of the value of the property. Do you think Walmart gets taxed at the same rate we get taxed for our house? No. They've got lawyers that come in and do this. The only people that's making money are the lawyers and the investors. And again, I hope you guys make lots of money, just not in Simpson County. So they're also, we're also talking about a ton of equipment that's going to go in this facility. So all this equipment has value. We're assuming that we're going to get tax revenue from this value because they're going to depreciate it out over a 4-year period. So they're going to take their CapEx, and they're going to depreciate it out over a 4-year period. So what happens when they Section 179 at the first year and depreciate the whole thing out the first year? Are we going to get any tax money from the equipment that's been depreciated out to zero for the next 3 years? Probably not. I'm not saying that's what is going to happen. I'm not saying that's the plan. I'm not saying I'm an expert in that, but I mean, I have been through a lot of budgets and we do some funny stuff, okay? If you're trying to pay more in taxes, go get a real job, because the real job or the real value in making money is when you work for yourself. Everybody in here that's got a W-2 is getting screwed, okay? The people that are making the money are the investors. The people that are making the money are the business owners, but we're the ones taking the risk. And that's just the nature of it, okay? So we get more tax breaks. So what are they getting? They're getting quite a bit of tax breaks. I mean, my understanding is that we've been, deemed this economic zone, but we're not getting the tax breaks. They keep saying this is going to come back to us in tax dollars. I mean, we're supposed to have a new fire truck because they built the Mint out here. Where's the new fire truck? That's never happened. Now, the Mint is giving a lot of money to the parks and the other organizations. I mean, I'm sure Lisa's here. I mean, I don't know how much, money we're getting from them, but it's definitely not enough. But hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is never going to happen again. How many times have we heard that? This is not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these gentlemen up here, again, I wish you all the best. I just don't wish you the best in Simpson County.
the reason they don't want to do it with conditional use permits, and they're trying to get it into an I-2 zone, is because of the cost. They've got to come back and fight it every time. That's great for them. That sucks for us. This should be conditional use permits. This should not be in an I-2 zone. So, I mean, it just, you know, we keep going. One gentleman said that there's going to be no water loss. The other gentleman said that it's going to be water, but it's going to be concentrated water. Which is it? How many? They have set up here the entire time. None of this makes sense. The numbers don't number. They don't math. The math don't math. I don't understand how we're getting up here and everybody has a different answer, or everybody has an answer, and it's just a, well, you know, to the best of my ability, to the best of my knowledge, well, I think so, well, I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You know, there are alternatives, and, you know, I hate it that, you know, maybe we won't have a power station that generates more power to bring in more industry. But this is not the Franklin that me and you grew up in. We ain't got the stockyard anymore. I wish we did. I wish we were back there right now, but we can't be, and it's never going to be the same. Franklin's never going to be the Franklin I grew up in. That part is what it is. But if we're between the two fastest growing cities in each state, how about we be a little bit more choosy about what we bring in here? I may not be perfect, but I've done this for 25 years. I may not have done AI for 25 years, but I can promise you, there is nothing about this that does not scream conditional use permit. And there's a reason they don't get conditional use permits, because it's easier on them if they don't, and it's harder on us to stop it in the future. Thank you for your time.
Jasmine Butt. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jasmine Butt, for those of you who do not know me. I'm not here tonight to speak against anyone, not against our elected officials, and not against progress, but for the heart of Kentucky, and Franklin, Kentucky at that. I've been asked why I started this petition. I have 1,177 signatures from this petition that I started. That is the heart of the Franklin right here. I've been asked personally time and time again why I started this petition. And this, like I said, wasn't political, but this is personal. This is about the people who live here, love here, and raise their families here. I am a mother to 7 children. And like many of you, I want my children to grow up in the community that I grew up in. I want the community that values people over profit, neighbors over numbers, and heart over hardware. Before we talk about growth, we've considered not only the environmental costs, but everything that they have said tonight for the proposed data center. They have made claims, but can they hold to that? Can they personally be held responsible if that's not what happened? Data centers have been known to consume vast amounts of electricity, often relying on non-renewable energy sources, contributing to significant carbon emissions and to climate change. And there's nothing that can be done about that once it's already done. Additionally, they require so many quantities of water cooling that it would put a strain on our local water sources, even though they have stated that it wouldn't. Can they, again, in writing, say that? This isn't just an environmental issue. This is a safety guard about our natural resources and the ones that sustain our communities and our future agricultural. In just a few short days, like I said, this is over 1,000 petitioners that do not want this. This is not anger, this is love. That's people that are standing up for the community that we all believe in. We understand that growth is inevitable, but not every kind of growth is right for Franklin. A data center may look good on paper, and it may be have jobs. They've stated that there will be jobs, but there will not be a vast amount of jobs. And you will also have to have degrees for that. Said degrees takes money, takes so much money that you are going into debt for. People in our community already have a hard enough time as is. Furthermore, large facilities like this could lead to higher property and income taxes as the city adjusts to infrastructures and services to support such operations. These tax increasements often trickle down, raising rents to our small local businesses, making it harder for them to survive and to thrive. Our small businesses are the backbone of Franklin. You go down to our local square, it's all local businesses. Those property taxes get increased, their rent increases. That's money that's taken away from their home and their family. I myself own a small business, and that would affect me and my family and my 7 children. And it would affect y'all's family and y'all's children and y'all's grandchildren and great-grandchildren, not just what's going on right here, right now. Amen. So tonight, I ask our city leaders, please listen to the voices of the people who represent. Listen to the families, to the parents, to the generations that want to preserve this town. I am 28 years old, and I have lived here my whole life. I love this community, and I love everything for it. And we elected you all to listen to us, not to be against us.
We're not elected. We're not elected. I want to clarify something. We're not elected. No. We're just appointed.
Servants.
So
Now, I'm just saying in general. I appreciate y'all's job and what y'all do.
Yeah, we're community members too. We have families as well.
Yes, sir.
Scott Arndt, last name is Arndt, A-R-N-D-T.
Is that Scott Arndt?
Second.
What's his name?
I didn't hear it.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Sir, what was your name? We can't hear you.
Scott Arndt.
Last name?
Arndt, A-R-N-D-T.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So my data here is a little skewed. I thought this was 832-acre data center. It's not, but I'm going to use this data anyway because eventually I bet it will grow and it'll keep growing. So, good evening. I am a Simpson County resident. My name's Scott Arndt. I grew up in Colorado. I moved out here to get away from all that nasty mess out there. I love small town America, so this is the perfect place for my family, and I want it to remain that way. They promised us a lot of things in our small town, like medical marijuana. I would make they'd use all that money to make better schools, better infrastructure, fix our roads, all those things. They didn't use any of that. So they're not going to use the data center to use any of that to fix anything with Texas. Sorry, they didn't do that for me, so I'm against that. But anyway, let's just say this 832-acre data center, it will wipe out prime farmland, use power for up to 100,000 homes, if this was the case, this is off my data, and raise our bills 30 to 45% by 2032, while creating just maybe 20 to 50 permanent jobs. It will spew fossil fuel, CO2. They did change that with gas turbines and cooled whatever stuff. I'm a nobody. I just care about America, that's it. And indirectly consume 7 to 14 billion gallons of water yearly through coal plants with only 19,000 of us here. There's only 19,000 of us. We can't subsidize big tech profits, but we need to protect our farms, our wallets, our air, water, and future. These are the data centers I have that have already been affected. Loudoun County, Virginia, over 100 data centers, operational, noise levels comparable to aircraft. I know you said that it's going to be lower. I don't believe it. Frequent power outages, electricity rates increased over 30%, community protests and block expansions in 2023-2024. Prince William County, Virginia, more than 100 facilities, grid strain leading to overloads, air pollution from coal plant backups, resident opposition to further development. Newton County, Georgia, Microsoft facility, oh, you said Microsoft coming. Okay, so Microsoft facility uses millions of gallons of water daily for cooling. Contamination of local streams and wells, groundwater depletion reported. Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, high power demand contributes to their power grid. Instability in 2021 blackout, second highest data center. CO2 emissions nationally. Diesel generator pollution affects low-income area. Chandler, Arizona, Google and other centers consume billions of gallons of water annually, exacerbates aquifer depletion in desert region, increased dust and particulate pollution. The Dalles, Oregon, Amazon and Google facilities use Columbia River for cooling, raising water temperatures, impact salmon populations, alter scenic landscapes. Silicon Valley, California, contributes to grid overload, increasing wildfire risk, electronic waste accumulation with toxic leaching, diesel generator emissions in nearby communities. Santa Clara Valley, California, backup diesel generators release air pollutants, disproportionate impacts on marginalized neighborhoods. Rural Georgia, this is just in general, conversion of agriculture land to data centers, increased traffic and infrastructure strain near Atlanta. Phoenix, suburbs in Arizona, water usage intensifies regional shortages, community protests at planning meetings like we're here today, creation of urban heat islands. Columbia River Gorge, Oregon, heated cooling water discharge affects aquatic ecosystems, ongoing lawsuits over environmental impact. Texas, statewide data centers maintain operations during residential power cuts, contributes to unequal energy allocation. Virginia, suburbs, this is just the suburbs in general. Large-scale facilities reduce nearby property values due to noise and visual impacts. California in general, electronic waste sites near educational facilities, potential long-term health risks. So that's all I have on there, but there's a lot of data proving that this does impact our communities. And like I said, I'm a nobody, but I just care about this community. It's been good to me. And you can look out there on YouTube and find many articles about it. Just because they got shiny suits and everything doesn't mean they're always telling the truth, and that's my personal opinion.
You're just as important as everyone here, so you are somebody.
All right, sir, what's your name?
Mason Barnes.
B-A-R-N-E-S.
That's correct.
Perfect. Will you please raise your right hand for me? You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Can I hand some information to pass down the line to these?
Absolutely.
And zoning commissioners here? I'm probably going to talk about something a little different than most everybody else here is going to talk about. I want to say to Mr. Arndt, wherever he went, you are absolutely incorrect about one thing. You aren't a nobody. In the eyes of God, everyone is somebody, and we respect you, and we're glad to have you in this community. Another thing that I want to say is I heard Mr. Crocker address social media issues. I've seen a few comments on social media that they didn't think elected officials should be here to speak tonight. I would differ with that because for those that don't know, I'm the county judge executive elected by people who live inside and outside the city limits of Franklin. I feel like I have an obligation to be here to speak and to share what the information that I'm going to share tonight. I'm not sharing any information tonight that I haven't spoke to these two men directly, and they both know exactly where I stand and where I'm coming from on this. And I say I spoke to them because you guys called me just a week ago tonight, I think it was, last Tuesday. There's been a lot of conversation here, and we've heard a lot of testimony about a data center and whether it's good or whether it's bad and all of the great things about it. To be honest with everyone here, that's really not even the purpose of this meeting tonight. The purpose of this meeting tonight is a public hearing to address whether or not we would accept a text amendment change to the planning and zoning regulations 8.16 in the industrial, heavy industrial zone. That's what this hearing is about tonight, whether or not that text amendment should be changed. A few things I do want to clear up, though, before I get too far, is we've heard a lot of testimony, and I want to clear up a couple of things that were said that were absolutely not correct. One is about when planning and zoning split and when this land was purchased. The planning and zoning was not officially split until a meeting on July 1st of 2025 when in this room, the county came with the county attorney to try to resolve that issue one last time, to be told we could not speak. That was on July 1st of 2025. I wouldn't have brought this up except this information got shared tonight and it wasn't correct. That's when that happened. The land purchase for this property was recorded at the county clerk's office on 5/14 of 2025. By my math and calendar, that's almost 2 months prior to the planning and zoning officially splitting. 8 days later, on 5/22, an annexation to the city of Franklin was recorded at the county clerk's office on that piece of property. Just wanted to clear some of that up. Another thing that I want to clear up, and I appreciate all the people coming that testified, and I'm, listen, that's why I'm not here to talk about a data center, because everything that's been said about a data center is like this over my head. I operate a computer. That's all I don't, and I'm not real great at that. That's why I have ladies in the office that take care of most of that. But the one thing, and I verified this with the representative from Warner Electric, because I think it was a misrepresentation to say that we don't have enough energy to recruit industry here. When he said it is their planned load growth, I asked him exactly what does that mean, and he said we have and I asked him could I share this, and he said I could. He said they have a 15-year plan, and there's a representative still here from Warner Electric, so if I get some of this wrong, you can correct me. They have a 15-year plan where they look at what traditionally has happened in this community over the last 15 years, and they plan their load growth for that same type of growth over the next period of time. So to imply that there cannot be any more growth or that you can't do anything at all industry-wise, that is a complete misrepresentation of what Warner Electric is doing and what we have the ability to do here in this county. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I handed all of you guys, and would y'all all agree that on the very first page is the exact text amendment change that was presented to you guys by the Franklin City Commission? Is that correct?
Looks correct to me.
Okay. And it is the very same thing that's on this board right here.
Yeah, right there.
Also handed to these folks, for those that would like to know, I handed the 8.16 in I-2 zone directly off the City of Franklin website of exactly what is permitted and conditionally used in an I-2 zone. In this, would y'all agree, I'm asking the Planning and Zoning Commission members, would y'all agree that under permitted uses, there are essentially 8 items listed, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And we're being asked to increase that by 25%. We're being asked to add 2 more items to the permitted uses of the I-2 zone. You flip over and you go to the conditional uses of I-2 zone.
Excuse me.
Now, you've heard Commissioner Bush addressed conditional uses. They're pulling them up for me. Man, y'all are really good. I don't. So, would y'all agree, as you're looking at that there are 53 different conditional uses under the I-2 zone? Is that how many's listed there?
Yes.
There's a reason that there are 53 conditional uses and only 8 permitted uses. Because there are things that make sense, that are allowable, that's doable without question, that we can allow and can happen. There are other things, yes ma'am?
How often does a conditional use permit need to be renewed?
Well, that's another good question, because that's another thing that got said tonight that I thought was true, but apparently is not true. Yeah.
I know we have
So supposedly, I say supposedly because I've never been the planning and zoning administrator, but once a conditional use permit is issued, conditions are tied to that permit, meaning you have to abide by this, 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 and this, whatever. And just so the people here know and understand, when this Planning and Zoning Commission approves something that has to have a conditional use permit, this commission does not address that. It goes to the Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustments. And the Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustments will then attach conditions that will be allowed for you to operate the way you want to, the way that they deem fit for you to operate. Does that make sense with everyone? So, once someone's issued a conditional use permit saying you can operate, but here's what you have to abide by. There's supposed to be an annual review of that business, and are they still abiding by these things?
Thank you.
And while I did believe, and I thought, Mr. Crocker, that you were correct, I would have laid money on you being correct, that once the owner of but the court system proved you wrong. And that is, once a conditional use permit is issued and that property sells or transfers ownership, we always thought that that conditional use permit was null and void. But I can tell you, the federal bankruptcy court told us that absolutely was not the case.
Which was unique to a specific property.
Well, it may have been, but I think it could be held to any property. And so,
So you don't need to renew.
you know, because, and for y'all that don't know, the rock quarry got sold, and we thought the new owners would have to apply for a conditional use permit to operate again, and the federal bankruptcy court said, sorry about your luck, they get to continue operating. So what I'm here to say and ask, really I'm here to ask, I'm not really here to tell, I'm not here to say, and ultimately, whatever decision that this commission makes, whether they make the decision to recommend these text amendments or whether they make the decision not to recommend these text amendments, ultimately, it will go back to the Franklin City Commission for them to decide one way or the other, ultimately, what do we do?
Could you state that in a different way, that we are a recommendation engine?
That's exactly what I am saying.
It's not our decision, we just...
Whatever decision you guys make tonight, if your decision tonight is, we recommend these two text amendments to be implemented into the permitted uses of the I-2 zone, that recommendation will then go to the City of Franklin for them to either approve or deny. If you make the recommendation tonight not to inject or implement these two permitted uses into the I-2 zone, the decision not to recommend it will also go to the City Commission, and they will take action on it of their choosing one way or the other. What I'm here to ask this commission tonight is to think about this. And I told these gentlemen as I talked to them on the phone, and they told me how great their project was. And I think, Adam, I told you directly as we were talking, your project may be the best in the world. It could be very great. But the bottom line is, if it gets implemented into the permitted uses, that means just that. It's permitted. It's allowed. We don't really get a say. I think it should be implemented under the conditional uses if we do anything at all with it. Mr. Mundy testified tonight under oath that he didn't even think we needed the text amendment for it to happen.
Okay.
I don't agree or understand that, but I mean, I think you would really have to stretch some of these 8 permitted uses to get there. I highlighted number 27 under the conditional uses because I think under item 27 under conditional uses, it's a possibility that a conditional use permit could be issued without any a text amendment to the zoning regulations whatsoever. I don't necessarily agree that it could be done under a permitted use. I think it possibly could be done under a conditional use without any change. My ask of you guys tonight is to give this serious consideration. And my ask honestly is that you deny this request to recommend implementing these two items into the permitted uses of an I-2 zone. Because I think we, and there's a reason, again, I'll say this, there is a reason there are 8 permitted uses in an I-2 and 53 conditional uses. Because we need to set the guidelines on what we want and expect to happen in our community. Thank you.
You've waited quite a while.
Yeah.
Speak to us.
Hello. I am just going to make a couple
You are
of points.
Kristen?
Kristen Bailey Wilson, and I'm just going to make a couple of points. And the first, and they have nothing to do with data centers because, like Mason, I don't know a lot about the technology, but I do know a lot about policy. And so I'm going to direct your attention back at this language.
Yeah, great.
So they said closed-loop cooling. Where on here does it say closed-loop cooling? And the answer is nowhere. It says you can use any cooling. So this group can walk away, change the cooling system, and if we pass this, we're stuck with it. So my first point is that you are looking at the text. So when someone comes up here and says, oh, there's water usage problems, don't think, oh, that's not what they said. Think, are water usage problems possible given this text? Do you see what I'm saying? Because I think that's the question in front of you, not their proposal. You'll see that later. The second point I want to make about the legality of this is that we are the people, and we haven't been represented by an attorney yet. Here's Amanda, here's Tim. They're the attorneys for Adam and Felix. Where's ours? I'm looking.
You're doing a good job.
Okay, so where would that have happened? The commissioners gave this text amendment to Scott Crabtree, the city attorney, on a Friday. Then the meeting was on Monday. At noon. Scott Crabtree had less time to look at this material than it will take for this meeting. And these people have had all kinds of prep time. So here's what I noticed. I noticed in my looking that data centers often bring lawsuits against municipalities and citizen groups. And those lawsuits often concern property valuation. And what do they want? They don't want it increased, they want it decreased. So I'm asking you not to vote for this amendment until the people get represented by a law firm that knows data center law. Here, here. Data center law. The body of work on data center law is so large that large law firms specialize in it. These two know that. They brought our locals because that's supposed to reassure us. The people need representation before you vote this in. So that's that point. And then I'm going to talk just a minute about finance, and I'm going to say very little. People in this room have been trying to track down Adam and Felix for weeks, but they've been hiding behind privacy screens and, we can't tell, non-disclosure agreements. Here they sit, right now, but don't be bamboozled, they've been hiding. So I don't see Adam. I've got that for everybody. So I'm going to tell you about this form of financing that Adam's using. Maybe you've heard of it. So it's a private equity fund that you set up through the IRS. And the name of the form is 8996, private equity form that you set up through the IRS, right? Adam has set it up, so it goes through Adam's taxes. If I want to give Adam $100,000, then you're not filling out the form 8996, Adam? There's a problem with the website then. So if I could give Adam $100,000 for his private equity fund, and who would know about that? No one, because I'm going to run it through my taxes. Now, you have a 401k for your retirement, but the equities in your 401k are public facing. There are Securities Exchange Commission, lots of them, rules. The rules behind what Adam's doing, it's the wild, wild west. We don't know who's investing with Adam. So let's worry about that. Let's worry about that. So when I was noodling around, I found a website called 10 Key Qualified Opportunity Zone. You see it there? From the OTN group. And it listed a project, and you do a click and it says, are you an accredited investor? And then you get information from Tim who wants your money, right? That website was sitting right there, and it lists the power supply. It lists what you all really need to think about if you want to think about this project is, does that match what they said? And it is us, guys. It is us. What was there is us. I sent it to a bunch of people in town, and I won't even name who. An hour later, it was taken down. That website is gone. I've given them copies of the content. That investor website is gone. So let me tell you about a conversation I had with Jim DeCesare. He's our industrial board director. I send this link to Jim, and I'm not saying that Jim had anything to do with this, because I don't really think he did. I send it to Jim, and I ask him, is this them? And Jim says, not that I'm aware of. And I reply, oh, come on, Jim, this is the Steel Road property. And Jim says, I've not clicked the link. I say, click the link. Then he does, and a minute later he says, wow, period, I wasn't aware. Now, you gotta really think about what that probably means. There is so much more associated with Adam that I could tell you about, but I'm not gonna take up everybody else's time. There's equity funds, there's smoke and mirror, there's projects and lawsuits, there's a lot more to Adam, there's restaurants in Pittsburgh, and maybe we can all go there and eat at one once. This is the definition of dark money. Our local leaders, I'm sorry to say, have been bamboozled. So I'm asking you all to stand with your fellow citizens. We deserve representation, real representation, and we deserve transparent investors. Please vote no.
My name's Stephanie Hastings.
Please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do. My name's Stephanie Hastings. I think every bit of thunder was just stolen by the previous speaker in front of me. I had a lot of things I came here tonight to say. Most of the people that have gone before me have already spoken on those issues. But since I live on Steel Road, and since 2008, when this change was made, which I was completely unaware of, and so was every other person that was adjacent to that land in 2008, I think that's why Mr. Bush said, was this done right? Maybe so. Doesn't matter. I can't do anything about it now. It's way past the statute of limitations. What I can do is reiterate what some of the other people here have said. If you read the Franklin Forward article about this proposed data center, it sounds great. I'm not gonna lie. At one point in time, I was sitting there thinking, man, this sounds so good, I wouldn't mind having that in my front yard. Okay? But there's something that I know. Just because they tell you that doesn't mean that's what's gonna happen. Okay? I don't know how many of you have ever been out on a date, all right? You have somebody tell you, man, I want to take you out on a date. I want to take you and get you a great 3-course meal and take you to a theater production. You're like, wow, man, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. You show up, you're dressed up, and you wind up getting to go to McDonald's. You get a Big Mac, a fry, an apple pie, and you get to go to the latest theatrical production of your date's niece or nephew down at the Goodnight Library, and they're doing Finding Nemo. I don't want that for us. I don't want us taken advantage of. I don't want us made fools of. If you guys can tell me that this data center, not just this one, the next one that comes, because once we get one, they're probably going to want to bring another one, and another one, and another one. And I'm not just talking about this one, okay? I'm talking about completely different projects, okay? What they're talking about in Franklin Forward, what they're talking about here tonight, are we going to be guaranteed? Does our 39-point checkoff list, does it guarantee us that it's going to be closed cooling systems? Does it guarantee us that the turbines run by natural gas isn't going to pollute the air? Is it going to guarantee us our electric bills aren't going to go up? Or for that matter, what about natural gas? If you're on natural gas at that end of the county, are your natural gas costs going to go up? I don't know about y'all. I can't afford my utility bills to go up much. If this data center was put in exactly the way it is portrayed, exactly the way it's portrayed in Franklin Forward, exactly the way it's been discussed here tonight. I might even join the crowd and be for it. But so far, I have been disappointed too many times in the past by promises made by people that come in here offering jobs and offering employment. And let me say, this should not even, these people here, some of y'all came in tonight mad at these people. These people can't do anything except vote on this. This was produced by the City Commission. Before the City Commission ever introduced this to the Planning and Zoning, they should have had an open, public meeting with all of us, with all the shareholders. Okay? I mean, these gentlemen and ladies right here, that should have been an open meeting where people could speak. Maybe even a joint meeting between elected officials on both the city and county side. Okay? It should not have simply been voted on, as was said, the Monday at noon by the City Commission and sent here for these people to have to deal with us. Okay? It's not fair to them. They didn't make this decision. All they can do is vote on it. I'm so happy to see this many people show up tonight, and I know there were still people standing outside when they closed the doors. Matter of fact, when I get through leaving, I'm going out there and letting them come in and speak. I'm just saying, we need to be this involved on everything that affects our community, not just this. I'm not necessarily against this. I'm not for it. I want to be aware of what's going on, and I want other people to be aware too. I want transparency when it comes to things that are going to affect my community. I don't want something to be passed, like I said, by the City Commission. I don't want something to be passed by the fiscal court, and it come up in front of Planning and Zoning, and somebody go, wait a minute, we didn't know anything about this. People have said, well, you should have read the Franklin Forward. I didn't even know there was such a thing as Franklin Forward. Nobody talked to me about it. I never knew about it until we were talking about, at the very first part of this year, when they were talking about Steel Road. Somebody was like, well, this is in Franklin Forward. Franklin what? We need transparency. We need our governments to speak out, not just bury it somewhere on their government page, because I'm telling you right now, our government page is not easy to use. This needs to be said, and if you find out about something, put it on Facebook, please. I'm not saying put your opinion about it, just put it, hey, Franklin Forward has got a whole agenda of things they want to change. Become involved. Let other people around you know what's going on, okay? Now, for the rest of it, I've had my say. I'm going out and let someone else have their say. But I am asking the Planning and Zoning Board, before you make a decision, before you allow this to be user-friendly for the corporations to come in here, which is exactly how this is done, maybe you need to consider going another way and use conditional use.
I think that many of us that sit on boards, I think that over the years, we have learned that we do have to put in more levers. We have to put in more places where, like, because when things will happen in a meeting and it's in the minutes when we will ask for something, and we'll have developers say, oh, yeah, you'll get that. But then when it comes to the production of it, and then they've sold it to someone else, and then the minutes, is not law. So
I would like to see that put into action by all of our local governments.
Levers.
Yeah, that's why we push forward in writing from here on.
Okay. Wayne?
Dwayne.
Dwayne Hoffman?
Is it a D. Wayne or Dwayne?
D-W-A-Y-N-E.
Okay, D. Wayne.
All right, Mr. Hoffman, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Madam Chair, lady, members of the council, the general public. If you don't mind, I'm going to walk around a little bit. It's kind of how I do these for my job.
Great. And then I think everybody can hear you better from
Yes.
moving. Thank you. You have
My name is Dwayne
a
Hoffman.
soft voice.
Well,
I
if
am
you're
the
gonna-
North American end user
Hold up a
architect.
second. If you're going to do that, take the mic with you. That way the people online
This
can
one or
hear.
this one?
The big one.
The big one.
This one?
Oh, the big
Or
one.
this one?
Yeah. That way they can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Derek.
So my name is Dwayne Hoffman. I am the North American end-user architect for a multinational company. I am also the global subject matter expert for all virtualization efforts in my company. And we support 65,000 users in 4 domains: North America, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and India. I have been in IT 27 years. I have been part of 3 separate entities that have either modified, built out, or renovated data centers. They all happen to be in Northern Virginia. I am here to articulate a reasoned but emphatic no to this amendment. Now, unlike the other speakers, I have the technical background. So my wife has already forewarned me, don't say big technical words. I'm a new resident of Franklin. The only reason why I came here is because a certain blonde said, you know, you should get out of the city. And I did. And one of the great privileges that I have as a veteran is to exercise the right of free speech I signed my name on in 1994. I do not take that lightly. I'm a quiet guy. Ask my wife. The only time I get excited is when I stream on Twitch during iRacing. Otherwise, I'm pretty mum. But I am here to provide you some understanding that is accessible. Because quite candidly, this has not been accessible, nor has it been properly disclosed. The original solicitation, and I happen to have it in front of me, says as follows: a 551.6 megawatt turbine, singular, not plural, and/or recip array expandable to 1 gigawatt. And the design is 2n+1. Basically, folks, a 2n+1 is, unless it is a significant catastrophe, the data center can overcome and carry on. That's all it means. The issue, however, is we have heard tonight that there are multiple turbines, not just the one. That will make a larger footprint. Yes, they have room, 200 acres. That's a nice piece of land. And yes, we've been given assurances that the recip array will also run on natural gas and not diesel. But as I am asking the Captain Obvious question, where is the natural gas coming from? I think I have an answer. About 20 miles from here, you have the Texas Eastern Pipeline. It connects to the Marcellus Shale, 200 miles east. And we are very lucky in Kentucky. Lawrence and Floyd County is sitting on a gargantuan amount of natural gas. This pipeline uses 5 to 10 billion, with a B, cubic feet per day. That means there is no reason why your natural gas bill should ever go up. That's a lot of natural gas. However, we also have not been told, are there storage tanks at this facility for said natural gas? Because certainly, as part of disaster recovery, if that pipeline has an issue where you have reduced flow, you're going to want to make sure you have something on hand. Nowhere in the literature does it say tanks. We've heard pipes, but not tanks. That leads me to my next point. Another Captain Obvious question. While it's great that we're being promised over $17 million per facility, How much are we paying in subsidy to have this put in? I don't know about you, but when I balance the checkbook, I can't go minus. What happens if this now goes minus? It's great to be promised the world, but are we willing to lose our souls for it? Now, I'm now going to address some of the technical bits, which is my wheelhouse. So, sweetheart, I will not need this. I'm going to do it from memory. We are blessed in Franklin in terms of internet. Insanely blessed. Mind-blowingly blessed. If we were in Madisonville or Glasgow, we have one link to the world. Franklin has 3. Lumen, Windstream, and Cogent Communications. Windstream and Lumen are both 400 gigabit per second. Cogent is 100. That is significant. We embarrass cities 100 times larger than ours with our network capacity. But there's a big however. Who in this room has EPB as your internet provider? Raise your hand. Okay. Who in this room that has EPB knows who your DNS provider is? The answer is Cloudflare. Cloudflare is a world-class company. They mitigate denial service attacks. They also provide content delivery. They also do DNS resolution. If you were to log into your modem in EPB, it's right there on the front page. You can't miss it. So let me describe how your traffic gets to where it's going. Think the interstate system? You're pretty close to how the internet works. From your computer, you get your way over to I-65, and now your data has a choice of the 3 networks. It doesn't care which one it uses. It's not picky. And a simple trace route of a website, and for the record, at my house 2 days ago, I ran a script of 1,000 websites around the world. 989 of the 1,000 go through Nashville. If you are on EPB, that's a staggering number. So if you do a trace route, what happens is you get a bunch of gobbledygook, and then you get more gobbledygook, and then you end at your destination. I'm going to talk about the in-between. Nashville has 60 gigabits per second at its internet exchange. That's its capacity, 6 networks. In comparison, a few hours north of here, Indianapolis has 960 gigabits per second, and this year alone has put in more capacity than Nashville has in total. Matter of fact, Indianapolis has 51 networks in their backbone. Now for your big cities, it's an astronomical number. Atlanta is 26,700 gigabits of capacity. They have over 280 networks. The issue is not capacity. The issue is capability. Because your internet traffic has to go through Nashville 9 times out of 10. And furthermore, more often than not, it's got to go through Atlanta about 7 to 8 times out of 10. So picture your road trip on 65 to 24 to 75, and your traffic's pretty close to doing that. Now, here's a caveat. Nashville Metro has at least 32 data centers. My company happens to be in one, in the other Franklin. For the record, this is the better one. Just going to tell you that right now.
Is yours on Crothers?
Yes. That is a 6 megawatt data center. It's 80,000 square foot. My company has 9 employees that are there. Because if that site goes down, we're in trouble. I made a phone call. I said, hey, Jerome, how noisy is it there right now? He goes, give me a second. Takes his audiometer, goes out there. It's 64 decibels. I went, cool. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. The noise that they're talking about, folks, is not high pitch. It's more of a drone. That can disturb wildlife. Okay? And as I remember it, Kentucky has a lot of horses. I am not convinced in the slightest that noise levels will be at the 50 to 65 decibels desired. Not convinced. Give you a second case in point. Recently, I was in England for a work trip. I got to see our new data center they're building. It's near Heathrow. It's somewhat similar to what's being offered here. A statement, oh, there's no water going in, that is a lie. And frankly, it's an insult to your intelligence. Here's why. If you go to the website, franklinkyforward.com, which stood up 1 week ago, hosted by Amazon, the registered name is private, which means they didn't want to disclose who had opened the website. Matter of fact, it was registered by a company called Domains by Proxy, LLC. If you were to pull out your phone and go to that website right now, you would laugh at the amateur nature of the site. High school kids in graphic design could do a better website than this. It's embarrassing. On that website, it specifically states that the cooling method will be immersion 2 cycle. That's what it says. However, other representatives close to this project has said, oh, it's going to be direct to chip or closed loop. Folks, they're 3 different things. They're not the same. Immersion 2 cycle takes a non-water-based substance and they literally immerse it. Very good for heat transfer. Our new data center in the UK, we're going to use this method. It's the beans. But here's the catch. On that same website I alluded to, sweetheart, I'm going to need that again because I want to make sure I quote this right as part of the public record. It states, thank you, love. It states as follows. Quote. It states, thank you, love. It states as follows.
Facebook is about a minute behind, I think.
On the website in question, it says this statement, take combined heat and power.
Really?
That was alluded to earlier.
He needs to go.
It's a very good system. I actually, if I'm doing a DC, that's the first thing I put in. That part's legit, folks. For instance, and now this is why I'm about to lampoon it. Quote, it's a slick setup that uses waste heat from power generation to create steam for cooling, all in a closed loop. Then there is 2-phase immersion cooling, where computer chips are dunked in a safe non-conductive liquid that turns to vapor to cool the chips, then gets recycled back to liquid over and over, no water wasted, no fuss. There's a picture. Whoever wrote that has no understanding of how to write technically. If you were to present this in the commercial world, we'd laugh you out of the building. Because there's a world of difference between steam and something of the nature of a complex evaporative and condensing mechanism. World of difference. Furthermore, in over my 25 plus years, I've never seen in a technical prospectus the word dunked. Instead, we've often seen the word immersed or bathed. Because dunking implicates you go in and then you take it out. That's not the situation here. With immersion two-cycle cooling, it's in. Now I want to talk about the liquid they're going to use. So on a Teams call last week, I started asking questions. Hey, how are you going to cool this? And they're like, oh, we're going to use Opteon. So Opteon is O-P-T-E-A-N. It's a non-water liquid. The fancy word is dielectric fluid. That's the fancy word. The good news is you don't have to replace it very often. It's about 10 to 12 years, best case 15. So once it's in, it's in. Here's the bad news. Folks, all it takes is one tornado to rupture a DC and you have a water contamination issue on your hands. Because this thing decomposes into an acid. That's not me saying it. That's the head of industrial engineering for my company based in London. Because that's not my wheelhouse. I just know who to ask. Now, for me, the whole argument, and that is a pun intended, is where's the batteries going to go? There's no mention of batteries. Now, you have two different types of batteries these days. You have flow batteries, which are based normally on vanadium, sometimes lithium. But the new fancy ones are sodium ion. Now, data centers tend to be very conservative. They do not speculate on the new technology. They can't afford to be down. If they go down, they're losing their shirts in certain cases. Because certain companies have an expected uptime. We call it the 9 standard. So 99, 99.9, 99.99, and so forth. There has been zero disclosure of batteries. And as Mr. Bush alluded to, there is a cave system nearby. If you ever put lithium to air and or to water, it goes boom in a very violent way. Where are the batteries? Now, as a sidebar comment, we get told, oh, after 5 to 7 years, we're going to interconnect with the TVA electric grid, and we're going to happily send our excess electricity to our fellow neighbors. May I draw your attention to the proposed building just across the line in Portland called Garage 65. It's over 2 million square feet. And it is literally on the last mile of fiber. What a sweetheart deal that would be. Hey, Amazon. Hey, UPS. We have this shiny new building right here. And oh, the DC is in sight. It's right over there. Why aren't they building it here? You mean to tell me that the residents of our county is not good enough to be worthy of a 2 million square foot day one start building? We have access to major freeways. We have good fiber. We have a trucking industry that would love to move freight. Why is that building not being done here in Simpson County, but instead we're losing all the tax revenue that will come from it because it will be in the state of Tennessee? That leads me to my next point. I'm going to quote from the website again. Economic impact. And I've already alluded to the whole subsidy question. On the website, it states the following statement. It can also sponsor STEM programs at the high school and new job programs at tech schools like Southern Kentucky Community and Technical College. Can, not will. Can is a capability word. Will is an initiative word. Where does it say we will generate these mythical 100,000 K jobs? Where? Let me drop a couple pieces of knowledge on you when it comes to that. IT salaries in Bowling Green average 20 to 40% lower than Nashville. Your average data center technician, just your stock standard data center technician in Nashville, is $72,000 a year. A system engineer in Bowling Green with 1 to 3 years of experience is $82,000. Now, thankfully, I am a mathematician by training, and I can tell you 82 is less than 100. I have the proof in the form of a degree. The hard truth of it is that this is not an immediate startup to 100,000. No. You need about 5 years of working with both the education system plus recruiting plus other factors to make people look at Simpson County as attractive for them to relocate here. Now, thankfully, we got plenty of houses, but I assure you, we don't have plenty of money. These jobs are not immediate. Now, if this data center was to go through, the short-term impact is significant. You would have hundreds of construction workers building these things out. But they're temporary. Once it's built, where are they going to go? I think everyone in this room would agree we want sustainable jobs. Not temporary ones. Furthermore, there's a glaring omission in this statement. Why are 2 of the most important universities in Kentucky not mentioned in this paragraph? I'm talking about Murray State and Western Kentucky University. Why are they not mentioned? Do you realize how lucrative industrial engineering is right now in the United States? There are students in Bowling Green that if this data center came to pass, they would be jumping at the bit at internships and apprenticeships, which will bring residual income into Simpson County because they'll be paying for services and things thereof. No mention. But instead, we get the emotional ploy. Quote, the world is changing. Despite manufacturing jobs still being desired, and by the way, it's in the past participle, not the present tense, whoever put this together. Closing of plants like Fritz Winter show the evolution of technology and jobs, they put job in the singular again, for in Kentucky. What a blatant ploy. Here's what makes Simpson County unique. From a former city slicker, oh, very much a former city slicker, it's peace and quiet. The ability to walk down the street and people say hello. The fact that a handshake still means something. The fact that you can go over to your neighbor and say, hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar? You don't have that in most municipalities in the United States anymore. That ship has sailed decades ago. Did it ever register to us that if we build this data center that maybe, just maybe, we bring crime with it? Crime. Ooh, that's a tough subject. Because property values in many municipalities have gone down, not up. I would like to offer two examples. One of them is actually very personal to me. First example is Chandler, Arizona. They built a bunch of data centers. The property values went down 5 to 7% within a mile of said center. The other one, though, is very close to home. Prince William County. You know it as Manassas, Virginia. Woodbridge, that's right. In my case, Manassas Park. I lived there for 5 years. And I saw firsthand the pros and cons of data center growth. Because Virginia State Road 28 is the main north-south highway for most of your data centers in Northern Virginia. I'm at the south end. The data centers in Loudoun County are at the north end. The claim that, oh, data centers increase property values in Loudoun County is a false dawn for this reason. Loudoun County is already more prosperous than Prince William, and they hold a higher percentage of federal employees versus Prince William. The argument does not transfer. In 2023, Prince William County said no more. We will not allow any future data centers.
Sir, you have taken more than your share of time. We have other people waiting to talk, and you've abused us, okay?
With respect, Mr. Link.
You have about 10 seconds left.
I'm about to close, Mr. Link, but I will not have my right of free speech infringed upon.
You're taking their right of free speech away from them.
I'll leave you with this thought. It's nice to be noticed. It's nice to be solicited. But there are rules in this. You have a choice to make. I choose no, and so should you.
How many people do we have over here to speak? Are there 6 of you all? Yes. I am going to swear you all in at the same time.
Mine's less than a minute.
No, it's okay. We're not in a hurry. I just think that'll cut down a little bit. Can you swear all 6 of them in together? And then Mr. Chandler, and I want you to say, I'm Marty Chandler, and your name, and where you live, and all of you get here and get sworn in together so that then that will cut down on a minute. Thank you.
All right, let me get the name.
Shh, everybody be quiet. Thank you. Okay.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll start with Mr. Chandler, and you've got the floor, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for waiting.
Let's see, put this back up here. I'm not gonna walk around and give a big speech.
You're not?
No.
We're not getting
First of all,
hurt. We've got 45 minutes, so we're good.
First of all, I want to thank you all for agreeing to serve as a board. I would almost think that when you all agreed to serve as board members, this probably wasn't what you had in mind to have to come to meetings like this, but thank you. We need people to do it. We have, it takes people to do that. I'm an East Magistrate here in the county, if anyone doesn't know that, and this is in the South District, so the reason I'm here to address this tonight, and I'm encouraging you to not just put this as a permitted use. Put it as a conditional use, because we have 2 industrial parks in my district. We have one in the North District. If you put this as a permitted use in the South Industrial Park, that's going to open it up for the other industrial parks. So that is my biggest concern, is when you put it as a permitted use, then it opens up for the next one. And there may not be a next one, but it certainly opens it up for the next one. And tonight, Mr. Crocker he had one of his expert witnesses. This would be, how'd you say it? It would be not detrimental to anybody in the community, and it wouldn't cause any harm for the neighbors or anything, correct?
The witness's testimony will stand for itself.
Didn't the same witnesses say that about the rock quarry? We were all assured at the hearing for the rock quarry that it was not going to be detrimental to the community. Drive to the park and look across the creek and see that. Look at our roads out there. So if you do it under conditional use, you can set conditions where if it has to be, I don't know all these technical terms they're talking about on the water, but you can put that as a condition. And you can put how much of it, they said 7 years from now, the TVA would have the power there. You could put a condition they can never be on the power grid. So there's under conditional use, you have a lot more control of what happens on this property.
Oversight, you feel like that you have more oversight?
You have a lot more oversight. And you review those conditions on a yearly basis. And anybody who will tell you that this project is $2 billion, is that correct, what you're talking about here? If they can't wait 30 to 60 days to get a conditional use permit, that project probably wasn't going to come here anyway. So there is no reason why this cannot be done under a conditional use permit. But like I say, my main concern too is if it's allowed in one, it's allowed everywhere. So I don't know what the future holds, none of us do, but in 15 years, there may be something bigger that comes that does use a lot of water, does get on the power grid, doesn't provide their own electricity. So there's things that, by not having it under conditional use, you would have no control over that, no oversight. I'll leave you all with that, but thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jack Hayes.
Hey, Jack.
I moved here 10 years ago from eastern Kentucky. I have several family members that serve this fine state of Kentucky, elected officials, and people. I have an uncle that's a capital venturist that is in the communications industry. So I know a little bit about this. All I want to say is this. Mr. Olson, a guy from Olson, made a good point that his data center was built, like you said, 6 miles from 1,500 people. This is Franklin. We're not Nebraska cornfield. And I'm going to say this. If you want to know what these data centers do, all I got to tell you is I have friends in New Albany, Ohio. And go and ask the people of New Albany, Ohio, how great these data centers are. And if you Google anything about these data centers, there's nothing positive about them. No one is in there saying, man, I couldn't wait for them to come to my town. Because most of them are, when they come in, that if you go and Google New Albany, Indiana, Ohio, or go to Virginia and look at Virginia, the data centers in Virginia, it was a great sales pitch tonight, but that's all it is. I come from a small town in eastern Kentucky that the people there are close-knit. And I tell you, this town right here is why I love this town. It's the same way, and it's not for sale.
Good job.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eric Vaughn, and somebody said something about the elected officials speaking. I just got off work, hadn't been home, so I'm not your jailer right now. You've heard from concerned mothers you've heard from concerned citizens. I can't take my eye off you. You don't know our town. You don't. I'm not only a fifth-generation Simpson Countian, I'm raising a sixth and a seventh any minute. I would like to talk to Mr., is it Ford that is representing y'all also as a key witness or testifying, Mr. Ford?
It's Mr. Ford. Graham, would you like him to come up here?
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to ask you a question.
Question answer. Can you do that? It's like a witness.
Well, he's got a question for him.
You can
so
stand
let's-
right there. It's
yeah,
all
let him
right.
Get by with it for now.
So did you say that you were at the site, correct? Or at the site? We had this discussion. I just want everybody to hear what we got to talk about.
I said I'm a site selector.
Okay, right.
I did not select this site into the project.
Why do we have him as a site, correct?
Because he can tell about the benefits of the location of.
The location.
The site, the data storage and service center, and the energy production.
Okay.
He can tell about
Okay.
the advantages to each of those.
So have you looked at that site? How much of that site have you looked at? There's 200 acres there. How much of that? You have not been on 200 acres. Have you been on 200 acres? All right. So you're going to build, and before I get into this, I'm not for you, I'm not against you. I'm for Simpson County and the citizens here. Now, I told you about the seventh generation. You heard from the mamas, you heard from the citizens, and now you're hearing from the daddies. It's my job as a father to preserve and look out for our future generations. We're getting back to this land. How many times have you been on that land? Quite a few. 3 times? Okay. Well, do you know the name Andrews? He is a farmer, big farmer. Okay. I've been on that farm, hauling grain off of that farm.
Excuse me, sir, we can't do an inquiry.
No, I'm talking about, I'm getting to this. I'm getting.
No, but we.
Okay, so there is cave system under there.
It's not a question and answer.
Okay, so I'm gonna state, there's cave system under that land.
Thank you, sir.
I'm concerned with the water. We talked about a tornado shaking whatever and the stuff getting in our water. I'm looking out for my generations. Can you guarantee us that it will not contaminate our water system? Can you guarantee us? That's what I'm asking. Can you guarantee us, this community, that it will not contaminate our natural resources?
Madam Chairman, what we can do,
Yes,
we
sir.
will bring back our engineer who can specifically.
Sit down.
Cannot do that.
Hey, they're done. Fair's fair.
Can you guarantee us that? I'm asking you, you're the man. I'm asking, can you guarantee us that?
Madam Chairman, you've already told him he can't direct.
Yeah, we can't
We're
tell.
not-
This is about our county.
He has not been sworn. He's not sworn in and he's not a witness.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
interrogate
I
him.
understand.
I mean, if he wants to answer your question, he can. If he doesn't, he doesn't have to. We're not in the court of law, okay?
Okay,
We're not in a courtroom.
Sorry.
go ahead.
Sir, you have to be sworn in to answer.
Just wait, let's just wait.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. I respect that. But it's our job as fathers and mothers to take care of our future generations. I know you're making $1. Hey, that's what everybody's in business for. Kudos to you. I'm not going to say make your money somewhere else other than Simpson County like somebody else did. I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to tell you that I do not and will not support something that's sketchy. Okay? And P&Z, y'all got a tough decision to make. But I hope you take into consideration all of our families in our community. Because I'm going to tell you something. Here's one other thing. Chigger Vaughn, you know him very well because you represent him, Crocker. Sit on the front porch, he would, huh?
One of my favorite people.
He would still be rolling over right now, and he would be up here talking. But now I want to talk, and the reason I brought his name up, you're shaking your head.
No, I'm saying, we
Okay.
can't have a comment out here.
Okay, all right.
I'm not shaking my head.
Okay. In 2008, if you know my dad, any of y'all know Chigger Vaughn, he did not get a letter from PNZ saying that this was going to be turned into, was it I-2? I-2. Because he would still be raising Cain because he likes sitting on his porch looking out across that farm. I know my dad. Mickey Steele, he's not with us anymore. That was Stephanie's stepdad. He'd be the same caliber of person. I have questions on how this transitioned. I have questions on why you chose this site, and I will be asking those questions down the road if I need to. I'm talking not as your jailer, I'm talking as a concerned citizen, a taxpayer in Simpson County, and a father, and I want to know what's going on, okay? This is not a jab at you, it's not a jab at you, I don't know either one of you. Crocker, it's not a jab at your clients. But I do want some answers. And eventually, we're going to get to that point to where we're going to get those answers. I just don't want it to be too late. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brandy Bell. Much like most of you, we've been here generations and generations. My father-in-law is Leroy Brown, as most of you guys have known him. His grandson is standing in the back, and is part of our Franklin Simpson Band. You guys came out here talking about money firsthand, about generational wealth. That's not what Franklin sees as generational wealth. What we see as generational wealth is canning with your grandmothers. What we see as generational wealth is our grandsons and our children's children marching down the same graduation that our grandparents marched down. We have absolutely no care about your money. We don't want it, because with it comes so much that we can't control. You want to put stipulations on it, and you want to make it a conditional, by all means, do that. Make it conditional. Make it conditional that it's going to protect our people. Make it conditional that it's going to protect our children, where they can't sit here quietly and say, or quietly and not say, that it's not going to hurt our families, that it's not going to hurt our water. Make it conditional so that my son still has a place to go play at the park, so that his children still have a place to fly a kite. Make it conditional so that he can walk down the streets where we don't have all this extra industry coming in for 120 to 150 jobs. I work at a place where I literally support the little man. I am the one who makes sure that all of your union workers gets their claims. I'm the one that deals with attorneys because I want to make sure that the little man is represented, that we no longer have to sit here and take from people who will make $1 million and not even donate 50 cents. That's what I represent. Franklin Simpson represents that. The people in Franklin Simpson represent that. The people that have been here for generations and generations. And I implore you, please vote no, okay? Just put stipulations on it. Make sure they can't do anything they want to do. I understand there's already 2 data centers here in Franklin. I get that. They're small scale. I have been to them. But we need to have some kind of stipulation, something to let them know that they can't run over Franklin Simpson's people. We are people, sir. We are citizens of this great city, and we have been for centuries. And I will watch my son walk down the same high school graduation as his grandfather did in 1963. And I will watch him march at Sousaphone every Friday night and every Saturday during football season. And I will not give that up. And my voice will not be silenced. We need to be heard. It needs stipulations. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Kelly Stevenson, a lifelong Franklin resident. My family's from here. Sorry, I'm a nervous public speaker, but I'm pretty much here out of spite at this point.
Please don't be nervous, you're doing very well.
Well, I'm here out of spite because that's how important this issue is. So I actually did some research about this, and I noticed, listening to everything that's been said today, that there were a lot of half talks about things, like there was mention of emissions, but they didn't really go into that. And so I just wanted to share some things that I found when I was researching beforehand. So the first thing, they say that like a typical AI data center uses as much electricity as 100,000 households. That was based on a 900,000 square foot data center. This research is from NPR. They also disclosed from IEA that climate pollution from power plants that run data centers can more than double by 2035. There was an interview with Dan Diorio, VP of State Policy at the Data Center Coalition. He stated that it's a balance between water and electricity. If you use more electricity to cool, you're going to use less water. If you use more water, you'll use less electricity. So as far as the closed circuit issue goes, you know, we're going to see that offset with electricity if it uses less water. Also, there's been analyses by the Union of Concerned Scientists from 2024 that homes and businesses in Illinois, Maryland, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia face $4.3 billion in additional costs from transmission projects needed to deliver power to data centers. And this is just the electric side. Now, if we look at emissions, sorry, I'm trying to find my numbers here. They state that obviously data centers generate noise pollution. Now, this mentions due to diesel generators and HVAC systems. I know that's kind of a question in the air right now. But it does state that internal noise levels reach up to 96 A-weighted decibels, well above the 85 A-weighted decibel threshold, considered harmful to hearing. Persistent noise adversely affects staff, nearby communities, and of course local wildlife, which we have a lot of here. They mentioned that air pollution is the most acute concern. This is from the National Institute of Health, by the way. Is the most acute concern. Fossil fuels, diesel, things that power data centers emit hazardous pollutants, increasing rates of respiratory diseases, cardiovascular conditions, and elevating cancer risk. A recent model indicates U.S. data centers in 2030 could contribute to nearly 1,300 deaths annually, resulting in a public health burden of more than $20 billion. Obviously, if there's emissions into the air, this will affect residents. I know people don't want to say that. They want to say, it'll just go into the air, but it doesn't disappear. It's going to go somewhere. So there's also the whole ethical issue with data centers that links to AI, which I won't go into just because I could spend all night on that and everybody's tired. So, yeah, I really think this is a bad idea for everybody. I think people need to research it, and we just need to vote no on this issue. Thank you for your time.
My name is Jerry Duggan. I'm a short-time resident of Simpson County. I've been here a little over 4 years. But I would like to help protect Simpson County for the future, like so many here have already stated. I think, like so many have said before, we need to do this as a conditional use. We need specificity in what they're allowed to do, because this is going to set a precedent. Whatever is done in this, if this data center is approved and is built, this will set the precedent for future data centers. Well, if you gave it to them, you're going to have to give it to us. So we need to be very careful how this is approached. These amendments here are very vague in general. I could shoot holes all in this. I'm not a lawyer, but I know words. Look at the first line here. Data centers used primarily for housing, operation, and management of computer service, communications, networking, equipment, and related technologies, including the cooling systems that are also vague. We don't know if they're open system, closed system, whatever they are. Power supply equipment. Define that. What is included in power supply equipment? We don't know. They haven't specified. This is too vague. This puts no limits. You know, data storage systems, I don't have a problem with that. On-site power generation systems. They say gas turbine. What is a modular energy system? Define that for me. You know, there's been a lot of talk about AI data centers. The current administration has talked about that. They said they consume a lot of power. They are currently developing small-scale nuclear reactors just to power data centers. What in these statements prevents or precludes them from putting a small-scale nuclear reactor on that site? Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing that limits what they can do, because it says power supply equipment, power generation systems, modular energy systems. It does say gas turbine arrays, but it doesn't say only gas turbine arrays. Big difference. Battery energy storage systems, like others have said, there could be problems with those too. Lithium likes to burn. And when it does get started, it's almost impossible to put out. It puts out a lot of hazardous chemicals when it burns. I would be downwind of this. I'm on the east side of the interstate in Simpson County. What's the prevailing winds? West, southwest. It'll be blowing right at me. I don't want this there, because lithium power is dangerous. These other statements here, same way. They're very vague in general. Set no limits. On-site energy generation and distribution infrastructure. What limits them on that property? How many gas turbines can they put there? They say they need one for each data center. Does it limit them to one? What was just turned down in Cheatham County by TVA? They are trying to put gas turbine power generation facility in Cheatham County. And public outcry shut it down. What are they doing? They're breaking it up into smaller chunks, making it a distributed gas turbine power generation system. What have they already said? That in a few years, they're going to have excess capacity that they would sell back to TVA or some other power grid. Well, how many power generation facilities are they going to have along with their primary use data center? They connect to the grid. You know, the other thing too, they're starting out at 200 acres. I believe it was. Is that correct, 200 acres? If it gets put in, as other people have stated, the value of the surrounding properties is going to go down. And people are not going to want to use it for various reasons. Property values go down. Well, we're going to buy another 200, 300, 400, 500 acres and build either more data centers or more power generation, because it puts no limits on how many power generation facilities they can have. No limits whatsoever. And once they're there, if they ever get there, nothing can stop them from expanding, because If this terminology is what's used, there's no limit, none whatsoever.
Good point.
Please, if you approve anything, please make it conditional use. Be very specific as to what can be used, what can be done, and how much it can be expanded. Because if you don't, it's just a downhill slope.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Anyone else here have any more concerns in regards to this? Okay, I think that, do you want to speak? Yes. Okay, you need to be sworn in, ma'am. Thank you. Anyone else, please? We've got a few more minutes here, and then we're going to call it.
Please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
My name's Kathy Klein. I taught here for many years, lived here, my parents, my grandparents, my family through many years. I've got a daughter now, just bought a home here in Franklin, so she plans on sticking around.
Would you speak up, please?
I'm sorry, yeah, I've lost my voice pretty much over the last couple of days. I'd like to first of all take a look at this. That has more room in it to wiggle around than a pair of baggy pants, okay? There are no stipulations about what can and cannot be used in this particular piece of work. We don't know if it's for sure closed, closed, we don't know that. You're not telling us that. You're not telling us who you will be sourcing the data to. And I love how we've changed the name from what they are, data mining center, to data centers. Sounds better. But if you look into what data mining actually is, I'll give you if you don't know, if you want a real easy explanation, look at the 60 Minutes episode that described it. Look at what the people in those areas said about living there. In Virginia, it's now the alleyway for data centers. Those people are miserable. We haven't discussed the fact that we're talking millions, the possibility of millions of gallons of water a day to be used. If it is enclosed, it's not being resourced back out. What's going to happen to our water? What's going to happen to our bills? We know what's going to happen. You all know what's going to happen. There is nothing positive. If you speak to anyone that lives in these areas, they will not tell you one positive thing about bringing these businesses into their area. Not one. They've already told you this is on a cave system. Now, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but we've all been around and watched the quarry come in, and it destroyed a lot of the natural habitat in that area. The creek system, I grew up on that creek, the springs, it's destroyed that. But we let it happen. How much have we benefited from that? How much will we benefit from this? Not enough. Because when we get one, there'll be more. And then we, hopefully, if they have their way, will be the next alleyway. We don't want that. I'm just here to say, I've been here a long time, left for a while and came back. And there is not one thing that these people can sit here and say that will convince me there's anything possible, sir, about bringing this business to Franklin. Y'all do the right thing. Think about the ones after us. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak with concerns in regard to this text amendment? Okay, okay.
We would request that we be allowed to present a rebuttal as to the issue.
I can't, yes.
He's got the right of rebuttal.
In regards to,
This meeting's adjourned.
There's topography and the allegations or suggestions of pollution. We need to be able to present that. That's something we did not come here prepared to address. It was new to us, but we have someone who can address it.
I think that,
Point of order, you all set up
ma'am,
terms.
I know that.
He's got a right of rebuttal, okay? Now, I don't think we need to call any more witnesses. If you want to address anything that's been said.
We know, yeah.
I can address it. So, just a few things.
He's got about 5 minutes.
So with respect to the karst topography.
Yes.
And the allegations about, or suggestions about decay, we have an expert on that, that's Mr. Henry, standing over there with Mrs. Olson.
We know.
And he is prepared to address that for the 10-key development. And they have developed in karst areas all over Kentucky and other places. We have had previous hearings about karst topography and allegations that they're in a particular place. In fact, I've seen a map, they're everywhere in Kentucky. You can't put your pin on a map where there is not a karst area. They know how to deal with it. Engineers know how to deal with that.
So can I ask you, if I put it on rebuttal, you guys have already made the rules, let's stick to them. Tell him to sit down. I'm not done with
It's not having more witnesses.
Just sit, just be done. Okay, thank you.
Hey, let's calm down a little bit. Now, he was asking a question. Mr. Vaughn, was that?
Y'all make the rules.
Yeah, buddy. We got you, buddy.
Order!
Be quiet a minute and let Mr. Crocker say something.
We're done.
I am warned this is
Thank you.
all I'm saying. All those
Okay, you guys, we're going to take a moment, and the board, the public hearing is closed. At this point now, board members can discuss amongst themselves if they have thoughts, theories, etc. Anyone here want to speak, or Mr. Mayor, Mr. Weisinger, Ms. Tanneger, Mr. Kepley?
Yeah, I'll speak first. I'm with all of y'all here. Even if we're going to allow a data center, right, this verbiage is not sufficient, just like we said. Now, I'm willing to argue about the conditional use, yes, maybe. I have been doing, like the Franklin Forward sounds good, like the lady was saying. I would think that if we're going to do that, that we need to put in stipulations for every bit of that.
Thank you very much.
And I have written up some things, in that effect, but I think a lawyer would be better off to write that up. But
Thank you. Mr. Henninger?
I got a couple things. One is for Carter. As vague as this is, for us to say that this falls under a permitted use also tells us how vague the rules that we currently have is for this area, which I think we need to go back and re-up some of this. Secondly, my issue with this, so I'm wearing a hat that says Franklin Simpson. You know, my kids go to school here. This may be a city board, but if we went forward and y'all didn't do a closed-loop cooling system, this would come off of Simpson County Water. Now, I work at Fruit and Loom. It's a business. When you up production, there's cost. Now, it may not affect the customer that first line down, but when negotiation comes with the customer to renegotiate that cost will go up. So for us not to have language in here that says it's got to be this type of system that guarantees that we won't be using Simpson County water, I have a moral issue with this board as a city board voting against that for Simpson County people that live in the county. I don't think that's a right thing. I think that's wrong. It's morally wrong for me. My faith tells me that's morally wrong. I think, yes, we are a split board now, but this still affects people outside of this city. And I think we really got to take that into consideration when we make this decision. That's all I got.
Okay. I will speak. I feel, too, that this language in this particular text amendment is too vague. There are not enough levers for government to be able to pull to more. We need far more oversight than this particular text amendment offers. Hence, I cannot recommend it personally.
Agree 100%.
Mr. Weisinger?
100%, I agree with that. And, you know, you turn something loose like this, what's going to happen down the road? I've watched, since I've been back here from Indianapolis, Carter knows it because I've asked him questions. People have come in here and had zone changes for this, that, or the other. And then the sites are not being developed for what they said they were going to be developed for. They end up reselling them. Well, I won't name any, but you know what I'm talking about, some of them. But no, I definitely oppose it. It's just not enough oversight.
I want to add one more thought, too. When we did some work with the county, the city and the county when we were together, and we did some work on the solar farms. If my memory is correct, we limited how many could be in the county, how many solar farms could be in Simpson County. Is that right, Mason, or am I wrong on that?
Debbie, I don't know that we put a stipulated number on how.
But we really were in there, concerned about where they were. Yeah, so, okay. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to take a little bit a different approach. I am for capitalism. I don't have any problem with anybody making money. I am for technology. There's probably not a person in this room that didn't use technology to do their research for this meeting tonight. So I am not anti-tech or anti-capitalism, but there's things in here that we're not able to control, right? The text is way too vague. We have no experience in power generation, and we're being asked to make a huge decision on that. There's no limits to the sizes. There's no guarantees on the tax revenue. Would you be agreeable to like an escrow fund where all these millions that you're committing that we could get, you would put in escrow and then let us take them out?
Escrow fund, some sort.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Is there anything that's going to keep the state from stepping in and say, wow, that's a big project, we're going to take that, and oh, by the way, we'll take some of that revenue as well. So there's no protections in here. There is no binding element to make them use a closed loop system. It doesn't limit for the other I-2 zones. There is, the text in general is just way too vague. And I come from an IT infrastructure management career. I spent 30 years doing IT infrastructure management, which included data centers. We owned and operated data centers globally, but they're not of this scale. I have no experience and no business making decisions in a 4-hour meeting on, what's going to happen in the next 10, 20 years. I mean, who knows what quantum computing or nuclear fusion is going to turn out to be? Who knows if AI is just going to be bust and you're on to something else and this becomes a giant energy generation facility. We don't have any controls in this text. I think the conditional use permit is the way to go with this. And I know that's not investor friendly, but are there any binding elements we can do with conditional use permits that would make it so they could transfer it from their current investment firm to another? They spoke, if we do it CUP, that they're going to be done. So if that's the case, I mean, I feel like we're in the driver's seat here. We have the resources and they're ours to protect, and then, you know, decide what the use is going to be. I don't think it has to be done tonight in one 4-hour meeting. So if you have to have a yes or no answer, it would be tonight. It would be a no for me. And then, I mean, I would be open to a change of venue, someplace that could support hundreds of people, and let everybody go back and do more research and get the limits that everybody says are not here, including me, in some of the vague text amendment.
Okay. So we need to conclude the meeting. I'm sorry, we're already.
Don't like him scolding somebody and telling them to be quiet.
You have to have some organization at these meetings. What you don't realize, think about this. We don't want to be at the Court of Appeals for the next 2 years over anything. So we have to control the meeting. We ran into the same thing with the quarry. Well, we had said 3 times, Mr. Crocker, what could we do to end this, okay? So
Thank you. Okay. Okay.
we have everybody saying no.
Okay.
So we need a motion.
Okay. I am prepared to take a motion that we do not accept the text amendment that is before us in regards to the advanced technology centers.
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the
Second.
floor by Mr. Kepley. Mr. Weisinger has seconded. I am going to take a verbal count. Mr. Henninger?
Yep.
Mr. Kepley?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Weisinger? Yes. That motion passes, hence we did not recommend this particular text amendment. We got it. Adjourn.
I'm making a motion, we adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor that the meeting is adjourned. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any opposition? Meeting is adjourned.